Welcome to McNichols Arena, where tonight the NHL is back on ice. The Winnipeg Jets in town to take on the Colorado Avalanche. Well, these two teams met on Sunday afternoon up in Winnipeg. The Avalanche wrapping up a 3-1 road trip with a 5-2 win over the Winnipeg Jets. Tonight, the rematch on home ice for the Colorado Avalanche. One key in tonight's game may be special teams. Keith Tkachuk of the Winnipeg Jets has 19 power play goals. That puts him third in the National Hockey League. The bad news for the Jets is when the other team's on the power play, they are 23rd out of 26 teams in penalty killing. So look for special teams to be an important factor in tonight's game as the Winnipeg Jets try to hold on to the 8th and final spot in the Western Conference playoff picture. For all the action, we go upstairs. John Kelly and Peter McNabb will have all the play-by-play. Gentlemen?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. The situation, of course, on Sunday when the Avalanche won 5-2 was the Avalanche want to get primed for the playoffs. The Jets are a desperate team, and the situation remains the same, Peter.
Yeah, and I think it was a big game for the Colorado Avalanche. They're coming off a 7-0 loss to Detroit that they took very much to heart, and they responded with a very good hockey game in Winnipeg.
Of course, the Avalanche have swept all 3 games against the Jets, including the matinee in Winnipeg.
Yeah, they've scored a lot of goals against Winnipeg. They've got big goals at big times. Waugh was solid in nets, but the real key, I thought, was the play of Joe Sakic, especially in the first period. He got a short-handed goal and then a great second-effort goal right here that got the Avalanche off to a 2-0 lead in that hockey game. But at the end, just a magnificent goal by Peter Forsberg. He'd missed the first 7.5 minutes of the third period. That was his first shift after returning from having a cut and stitched.
Well, counting tonight, the Avalanche, only 8 regular season games to go.
And only 3 on the road. And I think the big key is only one of these clubs, St. Louis, who they play twice, is over 500. So this is a situation right now. The Avalanche will have to work hard to grind out these games and get themselves mentally tough for the playoffs.
Yeah, team-wise, they don't have many goals they can accomplish in the regular season, but individually, there are some milestones within reach.
Yeah, some guys will be going for things, and these are things that you work for, because it helps you to get up for a game. Sakic wants 110 points. That would be his best season. Claude Lemieux has played so well, looking for his career best 41 goals. Scotty Young looking for his 4th 20-goal season.
And as we check out the Western Conference standings, things are pretty rock solid. 1, 2, 3, Detroit, the Avalanche, and Chicago. But after that, Peter, it gets very interesting.
Right now, honestly, Colorado could play anyone from number 4, St. Louis, all the way through number 10, Edmonton, in the first round, where they would play the 7th place club. That's how scrambled it's going to be over the course of the last couple of weeks.
And on the other side, in the Eastern Conference, well, you've got to scramble at the top and the bottom of that pack.
And I think the National Hockey League has got to be thrilled. There are not that many games with no importance from here on through the rest of the games until April 14th. But you look how bunched up they are. Everybody has a chance to make the playoffs.
So it's the Jets in town against the Avalanche. Colorado, of course, looking to sweep the season series against Winnipeg. We'll have the face-off coming up next on Prime Sports.
From Kamloops. That's where the Memorial Cup got underway today.
Colorado Avalanche on Prime Sports is brought to you by Conoco, the hottest brand going. United Airlines, fly our friendly skies. Your Colorado GMC truck dealer, who invites you to come in and test drive the exciting GMC Jimmy Sport Utility. And by Red Dog Beer. You are your own dog.
Change is happening all over the world, because now the airline that unites 5 continents is owned by the people who built it. Come see the difference employee ownership makes as we take it to the far reaches of the world. The employee owners of United. We don't just work here. Come fly our friendly skies.
Bridge
Bridgestone is about to change the way you feel about driving on ice. We're at an ice rink to show you a breakthrough in tire technology. The Blizzak Ice Tire, the first winter tire with Bridgestone's patented multi-cell compound, designed to bite through snow and stick to ice. In fact, at only 30 miles per hour, a set of Blizzak stopped 35 feet shorter than a set of popular all-season radials. Blizzak from Bridgestone. If you're not using them, what's stopping you?
Brought to you by these fine Bridgestone dealers.
At Deal and Doug's Factory Car Outlet North on West 104th, we're going after your business like never before. And here's how we're doing it. With Deal and Doug deals like this. 95 Chevy Corsica, $99.95. 91 Geostorm, only $39.95. Even a 90 Ford Escort, just $29.95. These are only three. We have hundreds more, plus over 15 different finance sources. Look for the Deal and Doug Gold Seal of approval to buy or lease with confidence. Come see Factory Car Outlet North, just west of I-25 on 104th. Because we sell them cheaper than anybody, and that's a fact.
Hi, I'm Dave Logan. If you've heard me talk about all the convenience First Bank offers, then you already know about the 24-hour telephone banking. But did you know you can actually open a new account or even apply for a loan right over the phone? At First Bank, you'll talk to local people who know you and care about your needs. So opening a new account or applying for a loan can be as easy as picking up the phone. First Bank, check them out.
First Bank, the Colorado Bank for you.
Equal housing lenders.
Our goaltenders tonight, it's 23-year-old Nikolai Habibulin against Stefan Fisset.
Habibulin, you see, for a Winnipeg club that's 10 games under 500, Habibulin 4 games over 500. He's played well this season. Stefan Fisset continues to play well for the Avalanche whenever he's in net.
We are set to go. Our referee is Lance Roberts, the linesman Wayne Bonney, and Jay Shares. Our face-off is brought to you by Red Dog. You are your own dog.
And John, a key matchup in tonight's game will be number 22, Claude Lemieux on right wing against number 7, Tkachuk for the Winnipeg Jets. Tkachuk is their big guy. He had 4 goals last night in Dallas.
It's Drake, Janney, and Tkachuk. Drake had a pretty good chance there, but Fisset made the save, and now Lemieux back to center. With Forsberg and Valerie Kamensky. Here's Forsberg, had 2 points in Winnipeg on Sunday. Lemieux gets it. Intercepted by Drake of Winnipeg. And now played ahead by Newman. And Foote gets it for the Avalanche. On to Lemieux. Into Sakic. Back to Lemieux. A shot. Oh, and Habibulin went down. Took it up high. And he hangs on for a faceoff.
We look at number 22, Claude Lemieux. 37 goals so far this season. One of the interesting numbers on Lemieux as we look at this shot is that when Lemieux scores a goal, the Colorado Avalanche are 25 wins and 2 losses. That is an extraordinary number for a guy. Shows you how important his goals have been this year. Of those goals he scored, 37, 10 have been game-winning goals.
And that is tops in the NHL, the most game-winning goals for Lemieux.
John, it'll be interesting. You know, we've always talked about all season, after a long road trip, the Avalanche are coming off a 4-game road trip. That first game back, it don't play nearly as well as maybe it did on the road. The Avalanche don't want that to happen here in tonight's game.
Don't score early. Long shot by Lefebvre. Kicked away by Habibulin. Rebound. Young a drive, and that was wide of the goal. And the Jets get to it, and they tip it out to center. Young on with Sakic and Simon. Here's Simon into the zone. Left it for Joe Sakic. Right in front. Young is wide open. Oh, Habibulin slid across and made a good pad save there. And the Jets, Shannon tips it down the ice. Sylvain Lefebvre back in his own zone. 1:20 gone, first period, no score. Sakic gets it in deep. And Dave Manson, big tough defenseman, back for the Jets. Of course, Winnipeg won last night in Dallas, 8-2, a huge boost for their playoff hopes.
Yeah, they have been very much a Jekyll and Hyde club over the last couple of weeks and for most of this season. And they've been playing good game, bad game. Their last game against Dallas was a great game, a big one. They were going to make the playoffs.
Tkachuk had 4 goals, Dallas Drake and Igor Korolev each chipped in with 2. Now Mike Ricci down the far side, right in front. Keane was there but was in too close. And the Jets start out. Hooked in by Mike Stapleton, and now Winnipeg makes a change on the fly.
Last game, the Winnipeg Jets did a good job down low against the Avalanche.
Now the Jets again. Chasse, his shot was blocked. And the Avs play to the corner. And it's picked up by Mike Keane, and he gets it out. Yeah, the Avalanche coaches, Peter, as you said, they weren't happy with their down-low coverage.
Defensively, meaning that Winnipeg did a good job down low, offensively creating scoring chances, and the Avalanche have worked on that the last couple of days.
17:20 left, first period, no score. Here's Willanen. Up the wing for Denmark. With Reichel. Centered by Hannon right to the goal crease. And the play was offside anyhow, as Denmark is out there with the newest Avalanche winger, Dave Hannon.
Well, Adam Denmark, there's a good look at Dave Hannon. Dave Hannon, you look at the numbers, John, he was one of 117 players. That's 19% of the players in the league changed uniforms during the season. That's one of every 5 guys on a team's roster. That is an extraordinary number of trades.
Peter, it seems like hockey is the only sport of the 4 major sports where you still see a lot of trade. Why do you think that is?
You know, I really can't explain it other than, you know, it's just been something that traditionally trades have been a big part, especially during the season because of injuries, whatever.
We are scoreless, 3 minutes gone in the first period. Avalanche about shot the Jets 3-2. Newman is past the center now, snared by Tkachuk. In on the far side for Dallas Drake. He was hammered over there by Willanen. And Forsberg is back. The Avalanche want either Forsberg or Ricci against this top line of Janney, Drake, and Tkachuk.
I think what the big key will be, and this is where Lemieux becomes such an important asset, the big guy Tkachuk will be watched a lot by Lemieux.
Now the Jets, Darren Shannon fires it in. And back to center with Sakic. He got the first 2 goals the other night, has 45 on the year. That's 3 shy of a career high. Now Winnipeg, Eastwood, in on the far side. Korolev can't find it. Now Igor Korolev gets it in the corner. He'll try and walk in front. Here's Korolev on the backhand. A shot, and Passe went down and made a good pad save, and Sakic starts out. His pass now for Simon. Slowed up near the line, and Lefebvre will dump it in. Here's Sakic again, a wrist shot. Hit a leg and bounced to the near corner, and Shannon shoots it away. Still no score. Keane busts back into the Jet zone. In with Stefan Yell. It's Yell, Keane, and Ricci now for the Avalanche, as Norm McIver for Winnipeg gets it back to center. Keane, who has lost his helmet, shoots it in. And the hitting has been fairly frequent here in the first 4 minutes. And now the Jets ice it. And we get a whistle. So a good start to this one. No score. 15-11 to go in the first.
From great peaks that inspire performance to sweeping sands on the Atlantic shore and great straight pathways blazing through the heartland. From the mountains to the sea, there's Conoco. With advanced formula gasolines and performance-proven motor oils, it's no wonder Conoco is the hottest brand going.
Stop by Conoco for 7-Up. It's an up thing. Ballpark drinks, they plump when you cook them. And clearly Canadian. Sparkling flavored water fresh from the Canadian glaciers.
You've always known that Volvo is one of the safest cars on the road and one of the industry's most innovative cars. But did you know that it's also a Colorado snow car? Yep, the Volvo 850 with front-wheel drive. It allows you to maneuver and hold the road in tough situations, the kind a Colorado winter can dish out and get you where you're going in style. The Volvo 850s, sedans and sports wagons, our front-wheel drive answer to your Colorado winters.
Let's take a time out for a quick hockey fact brought to you by GMC Truck. The Jets' franchise record for most goals in a season held by the Golden Jet Bobby Hull of 77. That was back in the WHA days. Of course, Teemu Selanne had 76. with the Jets of the NHL a few years ago. No score. We have played 5 minutes here in the opening period. The puck in on the second-year player, Hobby Boulin, and he holds on for a face-off.
And John, on that last draw, Hannon won the draw clean. And that's another reason why the Avalanche really enjoyed the idea of having Hannon join their club. Excellent face-off man. You see, he was one of the trades this year right at the trade deadline. Came over from the Buffalo Sabres. He's not a big guy. 5'10", 5'11", 180 pounds, but he is tough. And his ice time, we mentioned before, will come taking some ice time away from sack and killing penalties and key defensive roles, defensive draws.
You know, Mark Crawford said last year, in just their first round series, of course they lost in 6 to the Rangers, the Nordiques used 15 forwards, so he knows a long playoff year he'll need players like Dave Hannon.
Right, the two guys that are not playing as far as forwards tonight, Rene Corbet and Troy Murray, aren't in the lineup, but they're both healthy, and that's a great sign. They can keep 14 healthy forwards for the playoffs.
And Sandis Ozelinch is the other scratch. She is the defenseman who's turning his to sit out tonight. No score. Now Reichel back, number 16, with Deadmarsh and Forsberg. Reichel will dump it in. Forsberg trying to pick it up off the boards, but it gets by him. And Craig Janney now for Winnipeg. Janney gets it down the middle. Lefebvre is there, but Drake came over and knocked it off his stick. That big line is back on the ice. Drake, Janney, and Tkachuk. Out of the corner, Janney centers it in the slot, and Forsberg tipped it away. And a race for the puck, but Hobby Boulin will come out of the goal and hold on. I've seen goaltenders get delay of game for a play like that, Peter, but the referee, Lance Roberts, let that one go. And I think he's going to tell Hobby Boulin, you better not do that again.
Yeah, that's exactly what he's giving it a break right now early in the hockey game. But John, last night, look, there was only 4 games in the league, but the stars were stars last night. Lemieux, what a performance. 7 points in an 8-4 victory over St. Louis. Tkachuk, he picks up 5 points on 4 goals. Bondra, he helps Washington beat the Islanders. And Stefan Richer breaks out of it. He picks up a hat trick at Tampa Bay in a key win for the Devils.
Hey, speaking of Tampa Bay, there have been a lot of reports lately about Phil Esposito about ready to sign a new 2-year contract. It hasn't been signed, and reports are there's no reason why it hasn't been signed. And, you know, Peter, I have a hunch that if they miss the playoffs, that deal could get pulled off the table, and you might see Terry Crisp, the coach, get more power in Tampa.
It'll be interesting because that has been a club that seemingly has been in flux ever since it joined the league.
13.5 minutes left here in the opening period. No score between the Avalanche and Jets.
We saw at the airport the other night, Claude, his wife Deborah picked up Claude with his new little baby boy Brendan. Just a bundle of joy after 9 days, and it was, you could just see the pride in Claude's face as he carried his young son out to the car. And the club had been on the road for a week. He hadn't had that much time to spend with his son. Pretty happy papa that night.
Yes, he was, and for good reason. He just loves it here. He and his wife really enjoy the Denver area, and he's a happy man here.
Well, I think that's something that is through this whole hockey club, is how much they enjoy this city and this area.
Still no score. Now the Jets trying to clear it out. Korolev does. He's on with Mike Eastwood and Darren Shannon. Now Newman gets it, number 27. His pass hit the skate of Korolev and fired back in by Scott Young. Newman in around the far side. Shannon trying to work it out, and it's tipped to center. You know, player, this guy Korolev, Peter, came from St. Louis. Now the Avalanche work in. Young looks to center it, and it was tipped away by Shannon. I was going to say Korolev came from St. Louis. The players in St. Louis told me Korolev had more talent than any player on that team when he was there, including Brett Hull.
And they picked him up on waivers last year. He's had a great season for them this year, 19 goals.
Now Foote keeps it in for the Avalanche. No score here. Simon out of the corner. A drive! And Hobby Boulin got his pad on that. And Denny Chassé feeds it out.
John, that was a great example of the kind of room that Simon has earned for himself through his physical play. He walked out of the corner. He was being stick-checked by 2 or 3 guys.
Now Jim McKenzie for the Jets. Lost it. And fired in by Manson. You're not going to hold up Simon with a double stick check.
Yeah, but again, who's going to be the guy that's going to, walk in there and try and knock him off the puck?
Here's Keane leaving it for Ricci. His shot never got through. And the Jets start back. Near side, Chad Kilger. The drive and a save by Fassé. And it goes up over the glass and into the crowd. 11:41 to go, first period. No score here at Big Mac.
They're still back there.
Don't worry, love. You're riding in the world's first sport utility wagon.
I am.
That's right. This here's the all-wheel drive Subaru Outback.
That's great.
No, it's got more cargo space than a Passport. The ground clearance of an Explorer.
Yeah, but...
Oh, did I mention, it gets much better gas mileage than a Jeep Cherokee.
Outback, you say?
Subaru Outback. The world's first sport utility wagon.
The excitement of hockey is shared by young and old. Ride the avalanche of values with these frozen food products. Think frozen and score big with the quality of Vandekamp fish and the convenience of Inland Valley French fries, as well as these other fine frozen foods. Take proof of purchase of these brands to sports fan stores and save 15% on sports souvenirs from the Colorado Avalanche, Denver Nuggets, Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Broncos. Look for these avalanche of value items at these fine retailers.
The Avalanche on Prime Sports is brought to you by the Denver Front Range Dodge Dealers.
John, there's not many meaningless games around the National Hockey League these days. I mean, there's just everybody has positions they want to get, home ice they want to get in that first round. And when you start talking about an extra home game being worth about $1 million to a lot of franchises, we're playing tough for those games.
We have no score in the game. 11:35 to go, first period. Lefebvre on the far side gets it ahead. Kept in by Tverdovsky. Now Stefan Yell. And he'll sweep it away. Going back for the Jets is Craig Muni. He's missed the last couple of games with a groin injury. Came over to trade this year from Buffalo. Here comes Muni. This pass tipped down by Lecision. He was tripped up, though, by the leg of Muni. And that's going to get him 2 minutes.
Craig Muni, the veteran defenseman for the Winnipeg Jets, started his career with the Edmonton Oilers, won 3 cups with Edmonton, was part of 3 cup winners. Right there, thank goodness, Lecision got his weight off his knee right there. That could have been a very dangerous play. And that's why Warren Reichel took sort of a skate towards Muni, and the linesman jumped right in. But Muni went from there. Blackhawks didn't last for long, the Blackhawks, before he went to join John Buckler, his former coach in Buffalo. Now he's with the Winnipeg Jets.
You know, his career actually began in the minors in the Toronto organization. Yep. They never gave him a chance. No chance at all. And he goes on to Edmonton and was a cornerstone of their team.
Yeah, it looked like his career was over. It looked like just a minor transaction. He turns out to be one of the big 4 defensemen for the Edmonton Stanley Cup teams.
Avalanche power play 3rd best. The Jets not very good killing penalties. 23rd in the league. Here's Gusarov near side to Forsberg. No score, first period. Forsberg in for Kamensky. Sakic and Lemieux in front. Lemieux right in front, and Javi Bullen made a pass save on Lemieux. Fired in deep by Gusarov. Now in front again. But the Jets break it up, and they clear it down the ice.
John, the Avalanche have had a couple of chances here early, and Javi Bullen has been very sharp.
Colorado was 0 for 3 on the power play Sunday in Winnipeg. Now Lemieux back to Sakic. Right wing Kamensky. 1:10 to go on the power play. He'll leave it for Forsberg. Forsberg, the shot! And that hit Newman in front. Gusarov, side of the goal, Lemieux. Trying to get turned around, back to Sakic. Over for Forsberg. In front, tipped, Sakic, the shot! Rebound, Lemieux! That bouncer just trickled wide of the goal, and the Jets cleared high and down the ice.
But John, a very good power play set-up formation by the Avalanche. They're moving the puck around. The key guy was Forsberg down low.
35 to go in the man advantage. Here's Ricci into the zone. For Simon, far side, now to Scott Young. Look to center, he does. And LaFave, a quick wrist shot. Missed the goal. And the Jets' Dallas Drake will bang it back down the ice. Still no score. 9:25 to go in the first period. Late in an Avalanche power play. LaFave fires it in. Mike Stapleton trying to clear it to the far side. Scott Young gets to it first. Now Norm McIver. He hands it right to Young. Held into the line by Lecision. The Jets player Muni is back on. And now the puck goes over the boards and out of play. So the Jets kill it off, and we remain scoreless here in Denver.
Hello from the Plank Road Lane, where our man Paul and the Plank Road Warriors are here to make a simple little point. This is not smooth. In fact, downright clumsy. This, however, is strikingly smooth. Ice House. It's ice brewed, so there's never any watered down taste, just more of what you want in a beer. And what's our team motto? It's not how many strikes or spares you get, it's how fast you get to the beer frame. Thanks, and enjoy.
With front-wheel drive and available all-speed traction control, Ford Windstar is the best minivan for tough Rocky Mountain weather. And the best time to save on a new Windstar is right now during the Great Percent event. Save thousands in interest over the going rate with low 4.8 financing. Or go with $1,000 cash back. And that's on any model equipped any way you want. Or take 4.8 financing or $600 cash back on 9 other Ford cars and trucks. It's the Great Percent event, and it's only at your Rocky Mountain Ford dealer. You're gonna save Ford first.
Remember, Klipsch Audio and Home Theater Speaker Systems bring the excitement of music and movies into your living room. Only $899 at all Soundtrack stores.
John, back on the ice. Dave Hannon again for the faceoff. It'll be interesting to see where Mark Crawford uses Hannon as far as the key faceoffs in games coming up.
No score, just under 9 minutes to play first period. It's Hannon at center here with Reichel on left wing and Deadmarsh on the right side. Hannon, a 14-year veteran, and won a cup with Edmonton in '88. He's kicked out of the faceoff. So Deadmarsh takes it. He wins it. Reichel plays it in deep. Hannon bumped into the corner by Muni. Deadmarsh gets free. In front. Reichel, a shot. And he put that high and wide. Shannon trying to clear it out for Winnipeg. Held in by Foot. Now Tverdovsky picked up in the trade for Solani from Anaheim. Wolanin held it in. Looks to center, but the Jets break it up. And Craig Muni gets it for Winnipeg. For Tverdovsky. Lifted ahead for Mike Eastwood down the far side. Eastwood can't get a shot. Now back to the goal to Shannon. Deadmarsh takes out his man. And the Avalanche get away with it. And there was a good example, Peter, of good down-low coverage.
Yeah, they worked hard. They played the man. They rotated well. Just good hard work.
8 minutes to go, first period. Still no score. Simon on the far side. Now brought to center and dumped in by Reichel. Here's Scott Young. Right in front. Gooserov. Another chance by Gooserov, and that missed the goal. And keeps it Chuck for the Jets. Fail to clear it. Simon in front. Sackett missed it. And Winnipeg controls it. And Tkachuk starts out. He had 4 goals last night. Dumped in front to Drake. He scores! Oh, Drake stole it and scores to make it 1-0.
Well, Dallas Drake, who has been a very pleasant surprise with his play for the Jets this season. He's a hard-working kid out of the University of Northern Michigan. He's now in his 4th year in the league, and he's found a home on the right side. He's normally a centerman, left winger, but a bad bounce off the boards, and suddenly Clem, who is coming across, just gets a stick pulled away, but a very smart, hard-working play by Drake gives the Jets the 1-0 lead.
Brilliant play by Drake. He gets it his 15th from Tkachuk. at 12:34.
John, that's one of the funny bounces off the glass here in Colorado that they hope won't be around come playoff time when they get the new boards and the new glass.
So the Jets get the first goal and lead 1-0. Now Stefan Yell works in the corner for Ricci. Keen's in front. Ricci held up back of the goal by Stapleton. Yell again for the Avalanche. Here's Ricci trying to get free. Centers it, and Keen a shot. And a skate went wide. Stefan Yell battles in deep again. McIver there for Winnipeg. And he gets it on to Manson. And the puck now on the far side for the youngster Shane Doan. He failed to clear it out. Here's Yell again into the corner. Beats a man. Looks to center. Can't. Keen is there. Now Yell kicks it free for Manson. Here's Keen again for the Avalanche. To Forsberg. Out of the corner. And he went to make a pass but fanned on it. And the Jets send a bouncer down the ice. And Fassé will take no chances and hold on for a face-off.
Well, there's Peter Forsberg, 110 points. Now sits at 4th in scoring in the National Hockey League behind that trio in Pittsburgh. Lemieux, Yager, Francis, then there's Forsberg, Sakic, round out the top 5.
Well, don't forget next Wednesday night, the St. Louis Blues and Wayne Gretzky will be here. We'll have it for you on Prime Sports. Live coverage begins at 7:30 Central, 6:30 Mountain Time with Sports Talk, followed a half hour later by the game.
They got thumped pretty good last night in Pittsburgh, 6-4. Obviously led by Lemieux, but there's a tough game to lose.
And here's Forsberg, works it in, a pass to the far side to Lemieux. Jets lead 1-0. 6 minutes to go, first period. Forsberg out of the corner, pass back to the corner for Lemieux. Now Forsberg on the line, good feed to Lemieux. Looks for an open man. Forsberg with it again. Slowed up by Janney, and the Jets turn it over. And Tkachuk for Winnipeg. That goal again, Drake, his 15th from Tkachuk at 12:34. And now Winnipeg will ice it. And we get a stoppage in play.
For the Avalanche, after tonight's game, right after the game, they jump on board their charter plane and head to San Jose. They play the San Jose Sharks in tomorrow night's game. And then as Mark Crawford's club has a 5-day rest period, I think it's going to be the first 3 days the players are going to have completely off. They can't leave the state, but most of them they're going to take their wives and just sort of get away before that final playoff push, because, John, it's a tough time on the families. And they've got 6 games to go before the playoffs start, and this club, the Avalanche, have high hopes of doing a lot of good things in the playoffs.
Jets lead here 1-0, 5:31 to go, first period. Cannon gets it, Clem. Oh, what a save there by Javi Bullen as John Clem let go a good shot from the right point, and that was by the Jet goalie, and he reached back and made a good glove save.
Yeah, and John Clem's, his play has just continued to impress the coaching staff of Colorado Avalanche. He's now sits at +17. That leads all rookies at +minus. And here again, it's the guy that has just forced his way into the lineup. His play has demanded consideration for ice time.
5:27 to go, first period. Winnipeg up 1-0. The Jets have won 2 of their last 3 games following a 6-game winless streak. Prior to that winless streak, Peter, they had won 5 in a row, so they have been an up-and-down team the last 6 weeks.
Very difficult of the coaching staff trying to figure out which club is going to show up on any given night.
Now Kilder gets it for Winnipeg, right in front, and Fassé made a good save on McKenzie on that tip-in attempt. Another shot on goal, and Fassé will grab it, and we get a face-off.
John, you just look at the last 4 games for Winnipeg. The last 4, they lose to San Jose at home, 7-1. They beat Philadelphia at home, 4-1. They lose to Colorado at home, 5-2. They come back and they beat Dallas in Dallas, 8-2. And that may have been the last straw for the Dallas Stars last night as far as any hope of making the playoffs.
But for Terry Simpson's club, it was a tremendous effort. They led 5-0 after 2 periods of play, were in total control. It was a tremendous effort after losing to the Avalanche.
One thing about Winnipeg, when they skate and move, they can really go to the net, and they've got a lot of guys that move well. Let's say right there. An interesting period for both goaltenders.
Not dressed tonight for the Jets, Brent Thompson, Dallas Eakins, Alexei Zhamnov, a very good center iceman, has a back injury. Also out Randy Gillen and Eddie Olczyk with knee injuries.
Yeah, the key guys there offensively are Olczyk, who was a big key on their power play, and Zhamnov. Of course, he was second-team All-Star center last year in the league behind Eric Lindros, the third leading scorer in the league.
Just over 5 minutes left, first period. Winnipeg leading 1-0. Now Norm McIver deep in his own zone. For Manson, ahead to Shannon. He was slowed up by Lefebvre. McIver, bumped from behind by Young. Here comes Simon. Right in front of the goal to Sackett, but he can't get the pass. And the Jets, Shannon plays one to the far side to Manson. I tell you, Simon has had a jump in his skate tonight. He's had 2 great chances.
I mean, you're right. He made a play there earlier in the game where he got the puck, he kicked it off his foot up to himself, little drop pass to Sackett, and in behind and makes a nice play to Young. I mean, he is really moving in tonight's game.
4:24 to go in the first. Winnipeg up by 1.
With a newly enhanced Vortec 4300 V6 engine and available push-button 4-wheel drive, the GMC Jimmy can handle virtually anything you might encounter on the road. But you may appreciate Jimmy even more for its ability to get you out of your own driveway. The snow is coming. Get prepared at your Colorado GMC truck dealer.
Bridgestone is about to change the way you feel about driving on ice. We're at an ice rink to show you a breakthrough in tire technology. The Blizzak Ice Tire, the first winter tire with Bridgestone's patented multi-cell compound, designed to bite through snow and stick to ice. In fact, at only 30 miles per hour, a set of Blizzak stopped 35 feet shorter than a set of popular all-season radials. Blizzak from Bridgestone. If you're not using them, what's stopping you?
Brought to you by these fine Bridgestone dealers.
With Peter McNabb, John Kelly back live here in Denver. How about that goal Sunday by a Michigan player, Peter?
Young gentleman legs. Now he picks it up and whips it around and then right over the shoulder of the goaltender. After the game, they were asking him, who did he learn that from? Gentleman named Bill Armstrong, who now plays in Detroit International. He played last year for Albany, did that 6 times. And he's the one who taught it to him during a summer hockey school.
And the goaltender must have wondered what in the heck happened.
Well, I asked the goaltender, I was doing a game last year for the Albany game, and I asked the goaltender, you know, what do you look for? Well, your goaltenders are so used to looking down on the ice for the puck. They had no way of knowing that puck is coming over their shoulder. It's completely legal, and it's just one of those things that is just a very unique move.
Oh, a drive by Lefebvre right on. And Hobby Bullen makes the save. I've seen players in the past from that position behind the goal try and flip the puck over the goaltender, hit him in the back, but not pick it up with your blade like that gentleman did. Well, did you know that on this date in hockey history in 1993, Valery Kamensky had 2 goals and 2 assists to reach 100 points in an 8-3 victory with Quebec over the Flyers. 4:10 to go. What's so funny, Peter?
I don't think Kamensky's had 100 points in this season, has he?
I just read the card.
Okay, I was just sort of wondering. I think Val's having a career year this year with 77 points, so I think there was somebody else masquerading Mr. Kamensky in that game. But what a season Kamensky's had. Maybe his first injury-free season. And ever since this line, Kamensky, Forsberg, and Lemieux has been put together. I mean, they, with Renberg out of the lineup for Philadelphia, the Legion of Doom, this may be the best complete threesome in the league.
Kamensky's best year prior to this season, 2 years ago, at 65 points. So the
declared lied by 35 points or so.
It's a matter of, hedging our bets.
3:50 left here in the opening period. Winnipeg up 1-0 on the goal by Dallas Drake at 12:34. Here's Kamensky and Manson bumping the corner. Foot back on the line. In behind the goal to Lemieux. In front. Oh, what a save on Kamensky by Javi Bulin. And the Jets start back with Dallas Drake. Trying to cut in there. In front to Kachuk. His shot never got through traffic. And a long feed by Lemieux into Sakic. Sakic slows it up. Trying to get it across, and it came outside the line, brought back in offside by the Avalanche.
A couple of great plays made right there. One was Lemieux, a rocket pass. Here's a first play down low. Kamensky thought he had Javi Bulin beat. I don't know how many times I'm going to say Javi Bulin. I meant to get that Jet goaltender. Great save by that Jet goaltender right there. But then Javi Bulin, again, look at it. But at the other end, Lemieux hits Sakic with a 60-foot pass right on the tape. But Newman got back in a hurry to stop Sakic. I thought Sakic had a step and was gone.
3:13 to go first period. Jets up 1-0. Maybe no shot, 9-8 thus far. Here's Deadmarsh with Young and Forsberg. Gusarov across for Clem. Dumped in wide to Javi Bulin. Deadmarsh back of that goal for Young. Look to center. Now Gusarov on the blue line. His weak shot was stopped in front, and Igor Korolev for Winnipeg to Newman. Poked down the ice by Shannon. Vassay fires it off the boards to center ice. Now loose in the neutral zone. Forsberg overskates it. Clem grabs it for the Avalanche. 2:25 to go first period. Now Clem on to Young. Here the Avalanche have controlled play in this first period, except for the one bad bounce, which resulted in the goal. There, they'll play the Jets.
Javi Bulin has been solid. He's made some key saves, especially in close. Young, Kamensky, he's been right there when he's needed to be.
Lefebvre at his own line. Oh, lost it. Here comes Stapleton. And Lefebvre. Great recovery after he gave it up, and Stapleton had a partial break. But Lefebvre came back, and the Jet player never got a shot on goal. Now Chris King, their captain, behind the goal. King battles with Ricci. And King tackles that with his glove into the corner, but play goes on. Now taken away by the Avs, and Lefebvre shoots it high down the ice. 1:25 to go in the period. Still 1-0 for Winnipeg. Funny hopping on to say, but he takes care of it. Now McIver at center for the Jets. Here's Deadmarsh turning to dump it in. Manson gets it out. Now 1 minute to go in the period. Here comes Deadmarsh again. 3-on-3 into the zone. Chris crosses with Simon. Deadmarsh trying to make a play for Simon, but Janney got over and stole it. And here come the Jets. McIver on to Craig Janney. Dropped it for Kachuk. Centers one, but Drake had it go by him. And it's shot away by Wolanin. And the final 30 seconds of the first period. Now Kachuk. Long slapper is off the glass. Gusarov up on the far wing to Kamensky. Center ice to Clem. Into Forsberg. Forsberg. Great pass. Right in front of Kamensky was taken down. And no call. And the Jets clear it down the ice.
Yeah, another nice play by Forsberg. Kamensky driving to the net. That's what Lemieux and Kamensky have learned to do when Forsberg's out there. Go to the net.
Go to the net, and you will most likely get the puck. That's the end of the first period. That man, Dallas Drake, got the only goal. It came at 12:34. So after 20 minutes of play, it's the Winnipeg Jets
desperate for victory, leading the Avalanche 1-0.
Big jobs need big muscle, we thought, so we built an engine with the power of 10 cylinders. A V6 should have V8 power, we thought, so we designed a multi-valve V6. A car should be as quick as it looks, we thought, so we built an engine that pounds out 450 horsepower. In fact, we spent so much time thinking about engines, you could almost hear the wheels turning. The new Dodge.
I play to knock the rubber off the puck. I play for Prime Sports.
It's that time of year again. As the major leagues slide back into the spotlight, old pros in green rugs get ready to shine. There'll be hits and there'll be runs, but the only error will be if you miss this preview. Saturday at 3 Central, 2 Mountain on Prime Sports.
Hello, Northwest. Yes, we're the bank with the unbelievable checking. What's unbelievable about it? Well, there's no minimum balance, and also there's no monthly service charge for as long as you have the account. Right, and then of course there's the free pony. No, I was only kidding about the pony. No, you don't get a pony.
Heritage Ford in Loveland announces a sales event you can't afford to miss. Now, for a limited time, lease a fully loaded Ford F-150 four-wheel drive pickup for $149 a month. That's right, just $149 a month. Heritage Ford in Loveland also has the best lease payment in Colorado on Explorer. Now, just $259 a month. This exclusive lease price breakthrough is only available at Heritage Ford and only for a limited time. Pay only $149 a month for a new F-150 pickup now at Heritage Ford. $999 East Eisenhower, Loveland.
Hi, I'm Susan with the Children's Ski School program here at Loveland, and here's a tip to mastering the mountain with the Parent Taught Ski program. At Loveland, we offer a special program for parents and their little ones. The Parent Taught Ski program will show you how to work with your children ages 2.5 to 3.5 on skis. In a fun, informative hour, we show you the different teaching aids available, equipment and getting a proper fit, expectations for this age group, and the basics of instructing children how to ski. So if you have a little one aged 2.5 to 3.5, bring them on up to the Loveland Parent Taught program.
Welcome back to McNichols Arena. After one period of play, the Winnipeg Jets on the road, leading the Colorado Avalanche 1-0. That is through 20 minutes of play. The only goal of the first period, an interesting one. A couple of bad bounces. Keith Tkachuk took the puck off the side glass, and it found its way out in front of the net. And then after bouncing past the Avalanche defense, Dallas Drake hopped on it and was able to put it into the net. We are now joined by Keith Tkachuk, and I guess you'll take the breaks the way you find them, but that puck seemed to find its way past Stéphane Fiset.
Yeah, we were pretty fortunate there. We got a lucky bounce, but we'll take it. It's awfully tough out there right now.
Talk about your guys' situation, the Winnipeg Jets. You were in quite a scramble at the bottom of the Western Conference playoff picture. I imagine every game's a pressure-packed one for the Jets now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's tough right now. Everybody's in the same position. We're only a couple points away. For everything going on this year, we're doing quite well. So hopefully we can put a couple teams behind us and have a secure playoff spot right now.
Personally, a career year for you. 47 goals now. You got 19 on the power play. Picked up your 42nd assist. You have 89 points. All career highs for you. Are you enjoying this year a lot?
Yeah, it's been nice. It's been pretty tough though. It was a tough situation at the beginning of the year, but it's going good right now. But you got to make the playoffs. That's the bottom line. I haven't missed it in 2 years in a row, so I want to be in this year.
Is it a pride thing for this team to play well in Winnipeg? You're predestined to go to Phoenix next year, but is it important for this team to play well for the fans of Winnipeg?
Well, of course it is. I mean, we want to make it the best year possible for the fans and for us. I mean, like I said, we haven't been in the playoffs, and them losing the team. We want to play as many games as possible in Winnipeg.
Keith Tkachuk, I'm told you're one of the experts on the movie Slapshot. You know all the words, right?
Yeah, too many of the words.
You can't use all of them on the air.
No, I don't think so.
Thanks for stopping by. Keith Tkachuk of the Winnipeg Jets. We'll be right back. His Jets lead the Colorado Avalanche 1-0 through 20 minutes of play.
Hello from Plank Road, where our man Paul is out to prove that it's what's inside that counts. Take this bottle. Someone went to a lot of trouble to get this ship into it, but what are you going to do with it? Then take this bottle, Ice House. The folks at Plank Road also went to a lot of trouble, but look at all you get. An ice brewed beer with no watered down taste, so it goes down smooth and easy. So, if it's what's inside that counts, you can always count on Ice House. Thanks, and enjoy.
Bridgestone is about to change the way you feel about driving on ice. We're at an ice rink to show you a breakthrough in tire technology. The Blizzak Ice Tire, the first winter tire with Bridgestone's patented multi-cell compound, designed to bite through snow and stick to ice. In fact, at only 30 miles per hour, a set of Blizzaks stopped 35 feet shorter than a set of popular all-season radios. Blizzak from Bridgestone. If you're not using them, what's stopping you?
Brought to you by these fine Bridgestone dealers.
I play because it makes me stronger. When my buddies win, I cheer. But most of the time, I win. When I play, I hold nothing back.
Bank One is proud to sponsor the Colorado Special Olympics, giving athletes the chance to give their all.
I play with all my heart.
Great peaks that inspire performance, to sweeping sands on the Atlantic shore, and great straight pathways blazing through the heartland. From the mountains to the sea, there's Conoco. With advanced formula gasolines and performance-proven motor oils, it's no wonder Conoco is the hottest brand going.
Stop by Conoco for Gatorade. Life is a sport, drink it up. Dakota Kid Sunflower Seeds, the good-tasting snack from Dakota territory. And Mystic Beverages, the natural fruit drinks.
Hey! Come on, you guys! Come on, guys!
That is the worst Lou Holtz I've ever seen. First of all, you're 6'11" and 290. The Sports Zoo is a couple fat old guys talking about sports. Speak for yourself. And I say this lovingly, but you are an idiot. I mean, you are. You're a moron. Ooh.
Right on back, Chuck! Come on! All in, baby!
The Sports Zoo, 3 to 7. 85 KLA.
Welcome back to Denver. The only goal of the game belongs to Dallas Drake, and the Winnipeg Jets have a 1-0 lead after 20 minutes of play at McNichols Sports Arena. Time now for tonight's Discover Trivia question. All I want to know is, which is the only pre-1990 team besides the Jets that has never won an NHL division title? We'll come back with the answer, highlights from the first period, and more after this on Prime.
In the world of credit cards, the traffic is getting pretty heavy, and it's easy to get confused by all the complicated new card offers and restrictions. But people who know where they're going use one card, Discover Card, with the Cashback Bonus Award, the Smart Rate Program, and no annual fee. For a positive impact on your finances, use the Discover Card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
The seasons may be changing, but one thing always remains the same. You can count on the toughness and durability of a Ford. And now you can count on your Rocky Mountain Ford dealer to give you $2,000 cash back for 4.8 financing on Ford Bronco. Or choose from a huge selection of America's best-selling sport utility, Ford Explorer. Now available with the power of a V8 engine. It's all during the Great Percent event. But don't wait, it ends soon. See your Rocky Mountain Ford dealer today.
You're going to see Ford first!
Can I get some milk, please?
She got the last one.
Excuse me, I'll be right back, okay?
We need 2 specials. All right, let's not take half of the bag, huh? You become sweet in my mouth. Ooh. And I know you're gonna. Oh, yeah.
Hi, sweet.
Got milk. Check, please. Bridgestone is about to change the way you feel about driving on ice. We're at an ice rink to show you a breakthrough in tire technology. The Blizzak Ice Tire, the first winter tire with Bridgestone's patented multi-cell compound, designed to bite through snow and stick to ice. In fact, at only 30 miles per hour, a set of Blizzaks stopped 35 feet shorter than a set of popular all-season radios. Blizzak from Bridgestone. If you're not using them, what's stopping you?
Brought to you by these fine Bridgestone dealers.
So, tonight's Discover Trivia question, which is the only pre-1990 team besides the Jets that has never won an NHL division title? Well, the answer is the New Jersey Devils. They have no division title since they entered the NHL in 1974. However, they do hold that nice piece of hardware, large Stanley's Cup. Discover Trivia brought to you by the Discover Card, proud partner of Smithsonian's. 150th anniversary. Well, after one period, Dallas Drake the only goal. The Winnipeg Jets lead it 1-0. The task now for the Colorado Avalanche is to get inspired. A kind of sleepy first 20 minutes for a team pretty well locked into the playoff picture, facing a team that is fighting for its playoff life. Let's go back upstairs. Peter McNabb and John Kelly. Fellas?
All right, Tom, thank you very much. I think I have a feeling why the Devils have never won a division title, the old McNabb curse. But now that you're gone, maybe... No, just kidding. No, the Avalanche are going to win a division title.
I carried them babies for a few years. Yeah, I kept them right down there.
Now, obviously, you know the Devils very well, and everyone's wondering, what's wrong with the Devils, number one? They're hovering in the 8th spot. Can they win the Cup again, or even get in the playoffs for that matter?
Well, the big thing this year is they just haven't been able to score goals. I mean, they haven't even scored 200 goals this season so far. But the big key last night in their victory was Stephane Richer. He is that X-factor guy for the New Jersey Devils. When he gets hot, he can carry a club all the way through a series. So if he gets going with Brodeur, who I think is the best goaltender in the world, they could be very tough.
Should be interesting. All right, our scoring summary from that first period is brought to you by your Denver Front Range Dodge dealers.
Well, it was just a very interesting period in that I thought Winnipeg came out and played a much harder period than they did in Winnipeg. They played the body well. They got a good break right here. Dallas Drake, who's done a nice job on this line with Tkachuk and Janney, the high-scoring line, worked hard. Clem gets a bad bounce. He's turning to go in the corner, and all of a sudden the puck is bouncing. It just bounced over his stick. Fools to say, but a nice hard-working goal by Drake. And then the rest of the period was pretty much dominated by the two goaltenders as they both Fisset and Habibulin came up with good saves down low. Both of these clubs were going to the net. Lots of traffic in front of both goaltenders. But here's a nice play by Simon. Watch him kick the puck forward. Now the little drop pass to Sakic. And then watch what he does in front of the net. He lifts the guy's stick right here. He lifts the stick, and there's Young on the far side. Beautiful play from start to finish by Chris Simon. And now, these first period stats are brought to you by United Airlines. And again, just a very even period, just that one bad bounce that Drake capitalized on. That's the only difference in that first period.
The Jets have the only goal. And after 20 minutes, Winnipeg up by 1 with the second period coming up next from Denver.
Are you ready? Let's go. Get out and play. Give whatever you've got. You like that? Gatorade. Drink it up, Gatorade. You're gonna get thirsty. Gatorade. Life is a sport. Tough day. Drink it up.
Performance to sweeping sands on the Atlantic shore and great straight pathways blazing through the heartland. From the mountains to the sea, there's Conoco. With advanced formula gasolines and performance-proven motor oils, it's no wonder Conoco is the hottest brand going.
Stop by Conoco for 7-Up. It's an up thing. Ballpark franks, they plump when you cook them. And Clearly Canadian, sparkling flavored water fresh from the Canadian glaciers.
A Denver boy has an idea to aid Oklahoma City, and Colorado rallies behind him. The sale of Winter Park is averted, and $2 million a year goes to Denver's parks. A Rocky takes one downtown, and the whole state cheers. As Coloradans, we are all connected, which is why the Denver Post will keep delivering to all the Rocky Mountain region. And we're the only paper that can say that. The Denver Post. We stand for Colorado. Buy 6 months, get 6 months free. Call 832-3232 for guaranteed 6 a.m. delivery.
Being a fan is tough when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky there's even a box score. Well, if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and strategies, transactions, trade rumors, injury reports, and the lowdown on the minors. Plus football, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call now 1-800-253-8665. Colorado Avalanche Hockey is brought to you by your GMC truck dealers, who invite you to come in and test drive the exciting GMC Jimmy Sports Utility. Gatorade Thirst Quencher. Life is a sport. Drink it up. Your Colorado Volvo dealers. Test drive the Volvo 850, Colorado's snow car. And by Grease Monkey. Save your engine from freeze-up this winter at Grease Monkey.
Comparison brought to you by Grease Monkey.
You see the shots, only 9 shots, but 6 big saves by Habibulin, and so many of them were in close. He got his pads down. He was very good in the first period.
Habibulin, of course, a Russian goaltender, played 3 years with Red Army in his second year in the NHL. Unlike most European goaltenders or goaltenders not from North America, he challenges, he's aggressive. The traditional European goalie sits back in his net and lets the shots come to him, but this guy's more aggressive.
Well, one of the reasons they do that, John, the ice surface is so much bigger in Europe. You can't be aggressive. You start going out and moving out, you get lost in the ice surface there. You can't be as good as the puck because you can't go back to pick it off the boards as much. So Habibulin worked hard to be a North American goaltender.
He missed 20 games this year with a sprained knee, but is back and playing well. It's amazing. The young goaltender is 4 games over 500 on a team that is 6 games under 500.
Yeah, and that's the key. That's where they lost so much. It looked like they were going to be a playoff team this year. Then he went down. Then they made a trade for Solani, trying to shake things up, trying to get some younger players. But it was during that time that everything went bad for the Winnipeg Jets.
Underway here in the second period. 1-0 for Winnipeg as Wolanin fires it in. Denmarsh near corner, can't knock it down. And the Jets tip it down the ice. Shannon is in after it for Winnipeg. Hammer to the boards by foot. And played ahead, but not out. Korolev throws it in front. Muni on the line. In deep Korolev. He looks to center it. Shannon bumped into the glass by Wolanin, now knocked free, and Eastwood gets it right in front. Bouncing puck, Korolev a shot. Shannon to drive, and that missed. Oh, 2 great chances there. First by Korolev, then by Shannon. Passay kicks it to the corner. Eastwood centers it. The Jets have come out storming here in the second. Shannon back of the goal for Korolev. He'll try and feed it in front, back of the line, no Muni. That shot never got through. Now Eastwood gets it. In front, Passay, a big save on Korolev. Rebound, another save on Eastwood. Oh, great goaltending by Passay here in the second period. And Reichel gets it, and finally, they clear it.
John, that was one of the best shifts that we've seen against the Avalanche this season. And that was that second line, Eastwood, Shannon, Korolev, and they were, the thing about them on this shift, they were physical, but they seemed to not only be physical, but they were on the puck, moving it. They had just an excellent first shift. Now this wasn't interesting, John. This wasn't the line that started the period. But the minute after the puck was dropped, this line quickly changed and got on the ice, and they pinned the Avalanche in for almost a minute and a half to start the second.
Off the face-off, Finley, his shot, but it came outside the line, and it's offside. Yet Terry Simpson, the Jets head coach, has done that a couple of times in this game. Made a real quick change to get the matchup he wants.
Exactly. He obviously has looked over the lines and sees matchups that favor his hockey club, and will watch as the game goes along how hard he tries to keep those matchups favoring the Jets.
1:28 gone here in the second period. Winnipeg leading 1-0. Newman dumps it in. To the corner, Drake. Forsberg back of his goal. Forsberg, Kamensky, and Lemieux against the Craig Janney, Kachuk Drake unit. Passay right in front of his goal. Forsberg fires it up the middle, but kept in. And now the puck is off the leg and down the ice. Bobby Bullen will play it. Forsberg trying to keep it in, can't. And Drake now on to center for Newman and into Kachuk. Lets it go and hit Gusarov and flew wide of the goal. Forsberg kicks it out. Nice pass between his legs for Lemieux. Brought into the zone by Clem. Slap shot. And Bobby Bullen handled that. And a face-off. Well, Saturday, don't miss the Denver Nuggets as they are home to Milwaukee. Live coverage begins with Sports Talk at 7:30 Central, 6:30 Mountain Time, followed a half hour later by tip-off.
Well, Keith Kachuk, I think, is going to have 2 minutes for a roughing. Just took a little shot at someone as the play went along. Forsberg retaliated with an elbow right in the head. But right there, that's what the referee saw. He didn't see hit 1 or hit 2. He saw the third one, the cuff by Kachuk over on Forsberg. Melon.
Is that French for melon?
That's French for coconut.
Melon.
The old melon.
The old melon. Kachuk gone for roughing at 2:20. That's the kind of penalty Terry Simpson knows his club can't afford to take.
Yeah, you don't want to get the Avalanche power play, which has been struggling a little bit of late, but you don't want to give a chance to get this game tied up.
The Avalanche win the draw, their second power play, down by 1. Here's Young. In front, Simon. Rushes one to the corner for Ricci. Now to Young again. Back on the line for Alexei Gusarov. Gusarov wide. Doesn't shoot it. Now he does on goal. And Bobby Bullen made the save. Ricci kicks it free. Sakic in front. Save. Rebound. Oh, Bobby Bullen. Unbelievable. Reached back and stopped it near the goal line.
I don't think that one was going to count anyway. You're going to see Mike Ricci give it a little soccer kick. But had someone been there, like on the left side, as we watched Young to poke it in next, it certainly would have counted. You're going to watch in front of the net, the play go on. Now watch the feet of Ricci as eventually the puck is going to go to Sakic. Quick shot in front. But watch Ricci's foot right here. Kicks it. But right there, Scott Young. Now, had he just poked it in, you can kick the puck to a teammate. That's no problem. And you see Young, how close he was to tucking that home.
Ricci did play a lot of soccer as a kid in Toronto growing up. That time used the left foot and then the right foot.
Agile guy.
And he's had at least 2 goals called back this year because he kicked it in. Simon in front. And it's poked over the glass by the Jets with a 1:17 to go in the power play.
Mike Ricci and Manson get tied up right there, and Manson gave him a little extra shot. Look at the numbers for Ricci this season, and a disappointing season. We've talked about it a lot, just the breaks that have not gone Mike Ricci's way. And he is one of those guys that you know is waiting for the playoffs to begin. Because that is a season. You look back, and I watched it last year. I watched it last year with Claude Lemieux. People in Colorado won't believe this, but Claude Lemieux last season only scored 6 goals in 45 games with the New Jersey Devils before he turned it on in the playoffs. So, you can get yourself into a mindset where you're just getting ready for the playoffs. And that's what Lemieux did last year, and that's what the Avalanche are hoping is going to happen to Ricci.
Yeah, hockey fans who have never seen playoff hockey, either on television or in person, I don't want to say it's totally different than the regular season, but it's vastly different.
Yeah, I think one of the most interesting things in hockey is to watch a rookie's face, or talk to a rookie after the game, how big his eyes are after his first playoff game, as opposed to regular season games. There's just a special intensity to the whole thing.
1 minute left in the Avalanche power play. They trail 1-0. 3.5 gone, second period. Drake killing the penalty, will dump it in. Here's Forsberg back for Sakic. The Avalanche this year against Winnipeg only 1 for 14 on the power play. Sakic fires it in. Forsberg trips up Chris King and gets it free. Centers it, but it was knocked by Sackett, and out to center by Stapleton. Here's Lefebvre turning in his own zone. 25 left in the power play. Now Stepaniel, good pass into Lemieux. The drive and an arm save by Javi Bullen. Rebound, and Kaminsky was stopped. Yell out of the corner. Backhander went right by the goaltender to the far side. Here's Yell again, late in the power play. Leaves it behind the goal, then trips up Muni. And Winnipeg will ice it just as Tkachuk comes back on the ice. So the Jets have killed it off.
John, Javi Bullen playing well in tonight's game. He seems to have that kind of focus where you see a goaltender, it's going to take a very good shot play to beat him.
Still 1-0 for Winnipeg. 15-20 left in the second. And then Tkachuk hooks down another Avalanche player. He just got out of the box. He's going back in. And the Avalanche are going back on the power play, down by 1.
On the information superhighway, you need more than the latest technology. You need a very powerful drive. Chevy Blazer with the Vortec V6. It's nice to know it's there.
Wendy's new country French chicken tastes so delicious.
Bonjour, Dave. Bonjour.
It has everyone speaking French. Could it be Wendy's country French roll?
Comment ça va, Dave? Bien.
The Swiss topped with Dave's tangy Dijon sauce.
Bonjour, Dave. Bonjour.
Or Wendy's whole breast fillet.
Merci.
Whatever. It's a sandwich so delicious, only Dave could have made it.
Hi, Dave. Bonjour, mes amis.
He's got to be stopped.
Come try Wendy's new country French chicken.
Tonight's Colorado Avalanche game is brought to you by Chevrolet. For over 80 years, we've built our name on a simple idea. Value you can always depend on. Genuine Chevrolet.
Here's that last call on Tkachuk. And that is a textbook hook.
The first one he argued a little bit with the referee. That one, he just kind of shook his head and skated to the penalty box.
Avalanche on their third power play, trailing 1-0. Ricci fires it in. Denmarsh and Young flood the near corner. Ricci is there as well. All three forwards in that corner. Played behind the goal by Jeff Finley and fired out by Newman. Of course, Sandis Oslund, normally on the power play, is a scratch tonight, a healthy scratch. As the Jets steal it, and a penalty called now against Colorado. They'll pick it up, and the Avalanche are going to get their first minor of the night.
Hey, Mike Ricci for holding the stick. He got puck poked away, and the guy just went to pull away when he grabbed the stick and didn't allow Drake to pull into the zone. It wasn't a real long one, but it was just enough. Watch the hand right here, Ricci. Slides down, just a little yank. There's the call.
A minor for holding the stick at 5:25. And each team will be a man short for 1:17, and then the Jets will have a brief power play.
The Avalanche, the first 3 games against Winnipeg, they won all 3 games. 5-2, 5-2 up in Winnipeg, 6-4 here. 16 goals in 3 games. Nothing so far in tonight's game.
Yeah, they had outscored the Jets 16-8. But it's no fluke the Jets are playing well. They outchanced the Avalanche on Sunday 16-13 despite losing 5-2.
I think it had to be considered one of Patrick Waugh's most solid games. Saw the puck well, made a lot of big first saves. The defense, he made some good saves. The defense also moved the puck away quickly.
14:35 to go, second period. Winnipeg leading 1-0. Each team a man short. And Sakic wins it from Janney. Lecision is there. Now on to Sakic. Up for Lecision. Here he comes. Shot. Rebound. Unbelievable save on Sakic by Javi Bullen.
Well, yeah, I said it was good. good shot. It may have to take an impossible shot. Where's that kid Lake from Minnesota? What a save! Sakic plays this perfectly, grabs a rebound, the catching glove of Javi Bullen as he dives back. This would be a great angle. Watch how much net Sakic has right here as he starts. That again, as Clem shot. They're showing that right now on the replay for all the fans here. Watch how far behind Javi Bullen this puck is when he grabs it. Just a sensational save by Nikolai Javi Bullen.
He had 8 big saves in the first period, and he has been tremendous. That may have been the save of the year by any goaltender. Still 1-0 for Winnipeg. Here's Korolev into the zone. His shot tipped over the glass, and we get a whistle. Well, Bank One is proud to sponsor the Colorado Special Olympic Summer Games. The games, of course, May 31st to June 2nd in Fort Collins. Athletes, coaches, and volunteers are needed. Call 1-800-777-5767 for more information. Our only goal tonight scored by Dallas Drake at 12:34 of the first period. The Avalanche have outshot the Jets 16-13, but trail by 1. Each team a man short. Peter Forsberg for Kamensky. Right in front. Gusarov was there, didn't see it. And Tverdovsky gets it out for the Jets, but here's Forsberg again. Now John Clem ahead to Kamensky. Trying to go through the middle. He does. Right in! And Javi Bullen made the save again, as Kamensky made a beeline for the goal and got there, then was stopped by the Jets goaltender. Tkachuk is due back in 5 seconds, and then the Jets will get a power play. Tverdovsky on the line for McIver, now to Tverdovsky. Winnipeg with a power play for 40 seconds. Janney tried to center one, but it was tipped away by Clem. Winnipeg on the power play, 8th overall, just under 20%. In front of Tkachuk. Save! Rebound, they score! On the rebound, Korolev knocks it in. A power play goal, and the Jets lead it 2-0.
This is a classic power play goal for Winnipeg. You're going to see behind the net, Janney, their trigger man. He sets up the place. He's been behind the net, but watch for 7. Tkachuk come through and clear out the front of the net. He is such a big guy. 1-2 guys right there trying to handle him. They can't, and just sort of in the void, the vacuum created by Tkachuk right there, Korolev punches it in behind Stefan Fiset, who had no chances. He was also tied up. You know, he skated right through the crease, though, John. You see that? Tkachuk? That's an interesting. He didn't look like he was pushed. He just went right through the crease.
His 20th of the year. A power play goal at 6:57. Tkachuk and Janney get the assist at 6:57, and the Jets own a 2-0 lead. And another penalty has been called against the Avalanche. Delayed call, Newman will dump it in. And I think it's going to go on Simon as Javi Bullen fell down going to the bench. So the Avalanche, despite out-shooting and out-chanting the Jets, find themselves in a 2-0 hole.
Chevy Blazer, the only sport utility vehicle with the driver control system. It's nice to know it's there.
Good morning. Ty Kirby.
Room 426.
Hello.
Wants to survive his first interview.
Rubbish. Sit up straight. Don't talk too much.
Good day to you, Mr. Kirby. Good luck, sir.
Good. My lucky shoe.
Hello? I'm Ty Kirby. I'm ready.
Marriott. When you're comfortable, you can do anything.
Tonight's Avalanche game on Prime Sports is brought to you by Kmart. Everything we do is built around you. Chris Simon gets a minor interference behind the plate, and the Jets 1-for-1 on the power play have a chance to expand their 2-0 lead. The interference minor was against Javi Bulin. It was called goaltender's interference. So Simon is off for 2, and the Jets with another power play. Dumped in from center by Newman. Kachuk digs in the corner. Now back of the line to Norm McIver. Slap shot. That missed the goal. And Mike Keane will bat it off the far boards and down the ice.
Norm McIver was picked up from Pittsburgh during a trade halfway through the season. Has been a big plus great point man on the power play.
Jets on a power play back down the ice. Drake on the far side. Now back on the line for McIver. Right point Newman. That shot blocked in front by Sackett. And here comes Forsberg into Sackett. Intercepted by Winnipeg, and Janney controls it. 11:35 to go in the second. The Jets up 2-0. And just under a minute left in their main advantage. And there's a 2-line offside pass.
There's young Igor Korolev. Started off his career with the St. Louis Blues. As you said, John, came over last year on waivers, and it was one of those things where you wondered what he was missing. And obviously it was just a misread by the St. Louis Blues, because you look at his numbers so far this season, this kid looks like the kind of guy that can get you 20, 25 goals and play on a regular second-line basis.
You know those numbers? He didn't have a point in December, and he still has 47 points.
Yeah, and anytime you got a 20-goal guy. His goal scoring, is starting to become a real important part of the game. And what I mean is, for a while, a lot of teams were looking for defensive players, strong defensive players, because there was so much scoring. Well, the scoring has dropped off. So guys that can consistently give you 20 or 30 or 40 are key players on your team.
Oleg Tverdovsky fires it in. 30 seconds left in the Jets power play. Winnipeg up 2-0. To the corner. Janney centers it, but Keane broke it up, and here's Kucherov short-handed. And he lost it. Keane would have been offside, let it go. And Korolev now for Winnipeg. Late in the power play, Manson dumps it in. And Stepan Paset steps it up. And cleared too high by Lefebvre, and it goes out of play with 3 seconds left in Simon's minor.
It's kind of an interesting rule, isn't it? The delay of game penalty. Goaltenders, if they shoot the puck out of the rink, it's automatic. It doesn't hit the glass. It's automatically a penalty. Where players who you think would have more control of whether they could shoot the puck out of the rink or not, it's not a penalty.
In a sense, the rule is backwards.
Yeah, because but it goes back about, I think, 8 or 10 years ago, where goaltenders were just, when they were learning how to handle a puck, and that was really becoming an art about 8 and 10 years ago for goaltenders. They all are pretty good at it now. Goaltenders were just dumping the puck out of the rink just to get a face-off.
I wonder if Ron Hextall, the Flyer goalie, is the one who started the trend of clearing it out of the rink.
When you look back at great goaltenders as far as handling the puck, you get back Eddie Jockerman, Jerry Cheevers, then it goes to Pete Peters, but Hextall was the one who really...
Here comes Lecision, right in, and Javi Bulin got the legs closed as Forsberg sent Lecision down the left wing side, and Nikolai Javi Bulin was strong again.
Curtis Lecision has picked up his play the course of the last 4 or 5 games with the Colorado Avalanche, and now sits in the top 5 in the league at plus-minus of +33. Second chance that he's had. The first one led to a rebound chance for Joe Sakic, who just was robbed by Javi Bulin. And right there, another good save by Javi Bulin.
Still 2-0 for Winnipeg. Teams are back at full strength. 10:15 left, second period. The Avalanche have won the first 3 games of this 4-game series.
But the Jets have been tough tonight. They've been very opportunistic. At the same time, have gotten great goaltending from Hobby Bullock.
Great goaltending, but they've played a physically smart game.
Now it's Reichel with Hannon and Deadmarsh up front for the Avalanche. Reichel trying to get something going back of the goal now for Deadmarsh. In front to Hannon. He gets turned around and bangs it back of the goal. Bobby Bullen up the far side to King. Kept in by Lefebvre. In front of the goal, but the Jets are right there. And it's shot the length of the ice by Finley. And this is going to be an icing call.
John, when you look at the Winnipeg Jets, they have not had a very good tradition in the National Hockey League. We talked about it last game. They've only won 2 playoff series in their 17 years in the league. But this may have been one of the most important cities in the history of hockey. Because when the World Hockey came along, the new league, they were trying to get a name, trying to get something going for themselves. Winnipeg purchased or got a contract with Bobby Hull, one of the top name players in the league at that time, and it really gave credibility not only to the league, but most importantly to the city of Winnipeg, and they became the cornerstone of that entire league with Bobby Hull, the main guy.
Yeah, the Jets of the WHA, in case you're not aware, were the dominant team in that league.
It was like when the New York Jets got Joe Namath, them getting Bobby Hull.
9:35 left in the second. Winnipeg leading 2-0. The Jets coming in a 2-point lead ahead of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim for the 8th and final playoff spot. So obviously every game is critical for Winnipeg and Anaheim. Shannon gets it near side. That drive was off the side of the goal. And Juicerov with it for the Avalanche. Up to Kamensky. 4 Jets are back. Here's Forsberg now. Little pass into the slot for Foote. Now back of the goal to Kamensky. Puts it in front. Backhander! And a save by Hobby Bullock. What a play by Kamensky. He tipped it to a spot in front, got to it before the Jets player, and had a great scoring chance.
System. It's nice to know it's there.
I play because a 6'8" guy with a crossover dribble should. I play for both the alley and the oop. I play because I never know what I'll come up with next. I play for Prime Sports.
And tonight's Colorado Avalanche game is brought to you by Chevrolet. For over 80 years, that's 80 years, we built our name on a simple idea. Value you can always depend on. Genuine Chevrolet.
There he goes, editorializing again. Just read the card, Peter.
Just put it in front of you, read it, shut up. Get out.
8:50 left in the second. Winnipeg with a 2-0 lead. Goals for Drake in the first period and Korolev on the power play here in the second. Sakic trying to work into the zone. Tipped off his stick, and now Simon back at his own line for Foote. To Wolanin, back for Adam Foote. Sakic at center, now Wolanin had his stick held. Was pulled down, but no call. Here's Wolanin racing back. Drake is forechecking for Winnipeg, and Wolanin can't find the puck. Now centered in front, but Adam Foote is there. McIver kept it in. Drake in deep by the center, but Scott Young for the Avalanche fires it out. The shot's 19-15, favoring the Avalanche, but they trail 2-0. And then Simon, I think,
collided with King near the Avalanche bench, and King is slow in getting up.
I don't think King thought it was one of those accidental collisions.
Long pass by Lecision, bounces down the ice, and Hobby Bowen has to play it as Ricci was in there. Back comes King for Winnipeg. The ex-Detroit Red Wing and Ranger King gets it behind the goal. Look out, he missed everybody. But now the goal has come free. And we get a stoppage in play.
Right side, you're going to see Simon come across.
The old elbow to the chops.
He slowly makes his way to the player's box. But this last play with King, this has been a good example of what Winnipeg was doing. They are dumping the puck in. They're really getting down quickly on the Avalanche.
Now, don't forget the Nuggets in a playoff fight. Some big games coming up. The Bucks on Saturday. The Wolves, the Blazers, the Houston Rockets. And there's tickets available for the Rockets game. Call 830-8497 for more information. With Tom Green and Peter McNabb, I'm John Kelly back at Big Mac in Denver. 7:25 left second period. And the Jets with a 2-0 lead. Lafay tipped to center by Stefan Yell. He's on with Keane and Ricci. Muni up the wing. Ricci is there for the Avalanche. So is Mike Keane. Now play behind the goal for Oleg Tverdovsky. And tipped out by Korolev. And Peter, the hitting has really picked up at this point in the hockey game.
The Jets have set the pace here early in the second period. The Avalanche right now trying to get it going for themselves.
Here's a loose puck, and Mike Keane is after it. But the Jets, Eastwood got back in a foot race and beat him to it. And it's cleared down the ice. This will be icing as Lecision lost his stick but gets to it. And we get a whistle.
First Lecision lost his stick right there, and he's asking the referee, how can I have lost that stick if it hadn't been yanked out of my hands? Here's Keane right here. Good hustle. He just lost his edge enough and then got a little tug by Muni. Muni just not enough for a penalty. Good smart play by the veteran Muni right there to slow Keane up. You look at some of the other stars in the National Hockey League, and they're not their rookie years, their second year in the league. And that's what Forsberg's in right now. His second year, and you see the numbers. Forsberg going to have one of the best years in history as far as a sophomore year.
Although you have to really put an asterisk beside that because he only played 48 games last year in the shortened season.
Right. He didn't get a chance to learn about a full season.
Here's Kamensky, side of the goal, can't stuff it in, and the Jets get it back to center. They lead 2-0. 6:20 left in the second. Here's Janney now, right in front. Big save by Fassé on Drake, as he had a great chance to hit his second goal tonight.
Well, you're going to see some of the brilliance of Craig Janney on this play. Just a beautiful little pass, and he had a quick look over his shoulder to find out where Drake was, but the backhand pass. And Drake, as we mentioned, now Drake is a left-handed shot who most of his career has played center or left wing. But here on the right side, he's getting a great opportunity because there's so much attention paid to Tkachuk and so much ability with Janney that if he can just get himself into the holes, be physical, cause turnovers, he's going to get a lot of ice time and a lot of opportunities.
Well, he's had 5 goals, 3 assists in his last 4 games. 6:16 to go. The Jets own a 2-0 lead. Lemieux won that face-off for Gusarov. On to Forsberg. Rink wide, right on the tape of Kamensky. Looks to center it. Now he does. Forsberg. Lemieux is there. And Hobby Bowen made the save. And the Jets, after some pinpoint passing by the Avalanche, cleared away. Gusarov to center, blocked by McIver. He's right back into the offensive zone. Fassé left it for Gusarov. Now to Clem. Up the near side for Kamensky. Good backhand feed to Forsberg. Peter Forsberg works in the corner against McIver. Lemieux comes in. Backs for Forsberg again. Great strength shown there. Now stolen by the Jets. And here's a break to center for Korolev. He can't get a shot now. A weak one is handled by Fisset.
Korolev right at the end of a shift, and he, Kaminsky, Kucherov does a good job to quickly come back. Korolev was looking for a couple of teammates to move that puck to. They were going off on a line change.
Mark Barber, what his goals were for the last 8 games of the season. Basically, he said, we want to put the Detroit loss behind us and get everybody going well in the last 6 or 7 games. And trying to get the guys out of slumps going well and those things.
The last 7 games last season, and the Quebec players talk about it a lot, they went 2-4-1. And in those 7 games, they only scored 17 goals. They don't want to hit the playoffs, but those same kind of numbers over the course of the last part of the season.
5:05 to go in the second. The Jets up 2-0. A goal in each period thus far. Here's Sackett. Pass in on the far side to Denmark. Just bounced over his stick. Denmark and King fight for it. And it's played behind the goal for Tverdovsky. Now out to center for Mike Stapleton. And then Simon gave a Jet player a shot in the head, and this time he gets caught. Simon got away with one earlier, but not this time. And Winnipeg will go back on the power play.
Advisory. There is a winter storm watch in effect for the entire area today. Seems like it's only going to get worse. So look, if you don't have to be out there, please get off the roads.
Tom, can I make a suggestion?
You're fired!
Welcome to eternity.
Heaven. Yes. Now, wait a minute. Where am I?
Dark milk.
Some of the headlines you'll see in the Denver Post tomorrow morning. Joe McGill's thrill as an LPGA rookie. And Colorado College, a big game against Vermont in NCAA hockey action. The Denver Post, the official newspaper of the hockey fans, call 832-3232 to subscribe. Simon is off her high, sticking at 15-18, pardon me. And the Jets 1 of 2 on the power play, leading 2-0. Big kill here for the Avalanche.
And again, a thing to remember about these power plays for the Winnipeg Jets, this is a club that knows how important this game is, and that 3-0 lead heading into the third period, that would be a huge number in this hockey game.
Peter, we talk a lot about getting ready for the playoffs, and there are a lot of hockey sayings or adages. You know, you want to be going well at the end. You don't want to be tired. You want to play good defensive hockey. You don't want to peak too early. I mean, what do you think is important going into the playoffs?
Injury-free, goaltender's red hot, and the club is, basically on the same page. You'll see how long it takes. It takes 16 wins, and over the course in the 90s, anywhere from 20 to 24 wins. That's about how many it takes. It's a long, hard grind. You can't get too high. You can't get too low. And that is one of the reasons why the Avalanche went and got playoff-tested Patrick Waugh, Claude Lemieux, Mike Keane. That was a big, big reason for picking up those players.
3:50 left here, second period. 1:05 to go in the Jets power play as Stefan Yell hammers it in from center. Keane is there. That drive just missed the near post. And Gusarov controls it for the Avalanche. And Adam Foote will drive it back down the ice. Newman going back for Winnipeg. Counted by Hannon, number 14.
Now 40 seconds to go in the man advantage. Here comes Manson through the neutral zone. He put that too high, and it goes into the crowd.
There's Charlie, his nickname Manson. Started his career with the Chicago Blackhawks and was with Mike Keenan early in his career. And Mike Keenan apparently would get on him, and really would just sort of get him on the edge. Manson had a couple of 300 penalty minute seasons with the Blackhawks, and is just a legitimate tough man in the league.
He's the kind of guy that can, as they say in hockey, snap.
Yeah.
And those kind of guys, you got to take a wide berth around it.
The guy that I saw that would snap way back when I was playing, a guy named Ben Wilson. You go along the game, and you know he wouldn't do a whole lot, and then all of a sudden, I mean, you never knew why. He was just absolutely lose it, and I'm telling you, as tough as they come.
How about your old buddy Wayne Cashman, now a coach in Tampa?
He has a little more control. Cashman did a little bit more. Wilson just seemed to, for no reason, say, that's it, I'm starting something.
Now 5 seconds left in the Jets power play. It's 3 for Foot. On to Forsberg, tipped up to Hannon. Simon is back on, and here comes Forsberg. 3-on-2 into the zone, and he can't get a shot away. As Tverdovsky played it well, and the Jets work it in. Here's Shannon down the near side, and a good defensive play by Hannon to get back and break it up. Still 2-0 here for Winnipeg, late in the second period. Fired in by Lecision. Off the boards, in front, Sakic, the drive! Oh, and he just missed on that turnaround shot. Held in by Lecision. Low shot, tipped to the corner. Sakic is after it. In front, Lecision. Right in! Big save again by Javi Bullen. And back on the Jets, 3-on-1. Here's Doan, the youngster. Right in front. And it was off the skate of the Winnipeg player, Eastwood, as Winnipeg had a dangerous 3-on-1. Simon the other way. 1:40 left, second period. And the Jets still lead 2-0. Tverdovsky trying to work it down the ice, shoots it in from the line. Fassé on to Kamensky. Stolen by Tverdovsky. Gets it back, but can't get a shot. And Lemieux now to Forsberg. There's a 3-on-2 break. Forsberg in front. Kamensky shot high. Forsberg a backhander. Didn't get much on that one. And the Jets start out again. And that's the second 3-on-2 rush. The Forsberg has line his hat in this period. Jets in front. Wolanin tipped it not out. Manson. The block. Oh! Glove save and a dandy by Fassé.
Well, Stefan Fassé, who's had little chance on the 2 goals that have beaten in tonight's game, makes a big save right here. Manson, who can unload with the best in the league. Get back to the fact we told you last game against Winnipeg, Manson won the hardest shooting contest at Boston at the All-Star game, 98 miles an hour, and that right there was right up top with those hard ones that he'll ever shoot, because he got to pull it in, and it looked like he got full wood.
I was watching Fassé in warm-up tonight, and he looked razor sharp, going down very quickly in the butterfly, making a lot of saves, and just continued into the game.
I really was interested in the one comment he made right after the trade, or about 3 weeks after the trade from Patrick Roy.
Here's Ricci into Reichel. Oh, Javi Bullen nearly got caught leaning too far, but got his arm on it. Now Reichel again. Avalanche down by 2. Ricci had it stolen by Manson, and the Jets cleared away.
Just finishing the thought about Fassé, he said, I was practicing too seriously. I was playing it like a game instead of just working hard, having fun in practice, and then when I was getting my chances, then really bearing down in the games.
And obviously, Peter, as you know, he's in a very tough situation, knowing Patrick Roy is the so-called #1 man. It's not easy.
No, it isn't, especially when you're in a situation where, you know, you feel you've won the goaltending honors for the team over to Bo during training camp, the first part of the season. Your numbers are spectacular, and all of a sudden there's a trade comes where, it's a Gretzky trade. It's a trade where you know what the situation is when you get the guy. And he has handled it, flawless, on and off the ice, and especially off the ice, around his teammates, his work ethic.
Now 20 seconds left in the second period. Lefebvre will clear it out. Here's Teppo Numminen. He hands it right to Lefebvre again, who shoots it in. Jeff Finley to the far side, run by Keane. And trying to get it in front, but they can't, and that is the end of the second period. And Javi Bulin has been sensational. He's turned aside all 21 shots.
Another frustrating period for the Avalanche. They had the chances. You go back to that chance of Sakic. That may have been the best save we've seen here all season. And the score remains Jets 2, Avalanche nothing.
A second period goal by Igor Korolev on the power play, are only scoring in the second. And after 40 minutes, Winnipeg up 2-0.
On the information superhighway, you need more than the latest technology. You need a very powerful drive. The Chevy Blazer with the Vortec V6. It's nice to know it's there.
Toast.
Oh, Red Dog. I'm glad to see you, buddy.
Forget it. I ain't bailing you out no more.
But
Step aside, stranger. This don't concern you. Bold yet uncommonly smooth from Plank Road. Information on weekly matchups, injury reports, trends, who's hot, who's not. Fantasy Baseball Weekly. Just watch it.
Thursday at 11 Central, 10 Mountain on Prime Sports.
Welcome back to McNichols Arena. The Winnipeg Jets, after 2 periods of play, holding a 2-0 lead over the Colorado Avalanche. Tom Breen back at Big Mac, and I'm joined now by Avalanche defenseman Curtis Lecision. Curtis, been a very tough first couple of periods for the Avs. It seems like you guys are having a tough time getting something going, especially offensively.
Well, they're playing a tighter checking game than what they played the other night in Winnipeg, and they're frustrating us. They raid on us as soon as we get the puck, and they're dumping the puck in and chasing, forechecking, very tough. So their goaltenders made some big saves as well.
One on the shot that you had, the rebound came out to Joe Sakic. It looked like he was going to bury that one.
Well, I pretty much had my arms in the air. I thought it was in the net as well, but he made a tremendous save getting across, and I think he caught it in his glove. So that's a big save for their team, big momentum builder.
Is some of what's going on tonight have something to do with the fact you guys are locked in? I don't know that there's as much emotion as a Winnipeg team could carry. I mean, they're scrambling for their playoff lives.
Well, no. This is a team that we could face in the first round of the playoffs, so it's important for us to play well against them and show them that we're a better team than what they are. And they've played tight tonight, and you got to give them credit.
Curtis, you lead the team by a lot. I think you're 4th in the National Hockey League, a plus-minus of +33. Tell me about being so successful in a plus-minus sense. What kind of player does it take to be successful in that realm?
Well, I think it just direct results on the way the team plays. We've had some pretty good goaltending performances this year, and I played with Sylvain Lefebvre for most of the year, and he's a great defenseman as well. So I can't just take the credit. I got to give it to some of my teammates as well.
Hopefully a couple more pluses for you in the third period. Good luck the rest of the way.
That'd be nice. Thank you, Tom.
All righty, Curtis Lecision, the Avalanche defenseman, joining us now. It is 2-0 Winnipeg after 2 periods of play. We'll be right back to Big Mac here on Prime Sports.
Hi, I'm Susan with the Loveland Children's Ski School program, and here's a tip to mastering the mountain when it comes to dressing kids. When you bring your kids into the mountains for a day of skiing and high-altitude fun, make sure they are dressed for the outdoors. Waterproof pants and waterproof gloves will make their day warmer and much more comfortable. The weather can change quickly, so dress in layers so you can add on or take off. Goggles or UV-protected sunglasses as well as sunscreen are a must. So if you have a little one, aged 2.5 to 3.5, bring them on up to the Loveland Parent Tot program.
Sure, you can change your own oil, if you're so inclined. Meanwhile, at Grease Monkey, they'll change your oil and filter, lubricate your chassis, check your vital fluids, wash your windows, and vacuum your interior, all in about 10 minutes. Grease Monkey. We keep big drips off of driveways.
From electronic ticketing to the new 777, United's employee owners have made lots of improvements. Now we're even giving airplane coffee a good name. Starbucks, on board United worldwide. Come fly our friendly skies.
Volvo is the only car company to offer 2 front airbags and 2 side impact airbags standard on every new car. Then why does the Volvo 850 sports wagon also have anti-lock brakes, a winter driving mode, and front-wheel drive? So that hopefully you won't need the airbags. And now through February 29th, factory-supported lease rates make all 850s more affordable than ever.
Discover the defensive training secrets of America's finest baseball school in an exciting videotape. Baseball World's Defensive Drills video features professional scout and instructor Tom Umansky and the same revolutionary new training techniques that have produced Baseball World's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams. The Defensive Drills video vastly improves players' arm strength, running speed, quickness, agility, and infield and outfield defensive skills. Even coaches practice organization. Lou Pavlovich Jr., editor of Collegiate Baseball magazine, calls it a masterpiece, the best defensive drill video ever produced. Many professional players are excited about this videotape. Just ask Atlanta Braves superstar Fred McGriff.
This is the instructional video that gets results.
Baseball World's Defensive Drills video makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order your copy for only $29.95, have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-253-8665. That's 1-800-253-8665.
It really worked for me.
Kevin Eschenfelder with you here in the second intermission. We'll take you back out to McNichols Arena in just a moment. A quick check of what's happening tonight in the NHL. For that, we start the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers going at it tonight. Luc Robitaille, big night for him as Robitaille finds a loose puck in front, puts the Rangers up 1-0, and then he'd come back. Controversial goal, but they count it as he makes it 3-0 here, finding the opening. It's a goal, and the Rangers win it 3-0. Mike Richter turned aside 25 shots and wrote to his 3rd shutout of the season, his 14th of his career as the Rangers win it 3-0. Rangers, they were 0-5-4 in their last 9 games. Buffalo and Detroit tonight. Detroit wins it 4-2. Sergei Fedorov scored the game-winning goal and added a pair of assists as the Red Wings beat the Buffalo Sabres. The Red Wings are now 11-0-1 in their last 12 games, and they moved to within 13 points of the 76-77 Montreal Canadiens for the best single-season point total in league history. Tim Sweeney scored at 3:01 into the overtime to lift the Boston Bruins to a 6-5 victory over the Hartford Whalers. Ray Bourque had 3 assists for the Bruins, who are 8-1-1 in their last 10 games. The win gives Boston 79 points and moves them into a tie with New Jersey for 6th place in the Eastern Conference. That's the finals tonight from the NHL. We take a break, take you back out to McNichols Arena in just a moment.
Big jobs need big muscle, we thought, so we built an engine with the power of 10 cylinders. A V6 should have V8 power, we thought, so we designed a multi-valve V6. A car should be as quick as it looks, we thought, so we built an engine that pounds out 450 horsepower. In fact, we spent so much time thinking about engines, you could almost hear the wheels turning. The new Dodge.
is about to change the way you feel about driving on ice. We're at an ice rink to show you a breakthrough in tire technology. The Blizzak Ice Tire, the first winter tire with Bridgestone's patented multi-cell compound, designed to bite through snow and stick to ice. In fact, at only 30 miles per hour, a set of Blizzaks about 35 feet shorter than a set of popular all-season radials. Blizzak from Bridgestone. If you're not using them, what's stopping you?
Brought to you by these fine Bridgestone dealers.
From great peaks that inspire performance to sweeping sands on the Atlantic shore and great straight pathways blazing through the heartland. From the mountains to the sea, there's Conoco. With advanced formula gasolines and performance-proven motor oils, it's no wonder Conoco is the hottest brand going.
Stop by Conoco for Gatorade. Life is a sport. Drink it up. Dakota Kid Sunflower Seeds, the good-tasting snack from Dakota territory. And Mystic Beverages, the natural fruit drinks.
The excitement of hockey is shared by young and old. Ride the avalanche of values with these frozen food products. Think frozen and score big with the quality of Vandekamp fish and the convenience of Inland Valley French fries, as well as these other fine frozen foods. Take proof of purchase of these brands to sports fan stores and save 15% on sports souvenirs from the Colorado Avalanche, Denver Nuggets, Colorado Rockies, and the Denver Broncos. Look for these avalanche of value items at these fine retailers. With 1 period of play left in regulation, the Winnipeg Jets lead the Colorado Avalanche 2-0. Dallas Drake in the first period. Igor Korolev adds a goal in the second period. And Winnipeg getting it done defensively. The Colorado Avalanche with 21 shots through 2 periods, but very few quality scoring opportunities. And when they have had quality scoring opportunities, Nikolai Habibulin has been up to the task so far, stopping all 21 shots. So we're through 2, and Winnipeg leads it 2-0. It is time now for tonight's Kmart Kidcaster question.
Hi, my name is Jeff Pokovich, tonight's Kmart Kidcaster, and my question for Peter McNabb is, what was it like to play hockey in the 60s and 70s?
I was not quite in the 60s, early 70s, when I first started my career. I also didn't learn how to talk until late in the 90s here. But during the 60s, I was not in the National Hockey League. But playing in the 70s, I think the biggest difference was the fact that there were no American players and no European players. It was almost strictly a Canadian game. It was a 3-line hockey, and the play was nowhere near as fast or as quick as it is now. The players are bigger, stronger, and better. It was fun. It was just as exciting to play in the National Hockey League, but it was a much, much different game.
All right, I think that was the best question that we've had on the Kidcaster, you know.
I was a flower child in the 60s.
All right. Meanwhile, the scoring summary is brought, I need this microphone, is brought to you by your Colorado Volvo dealers.
We look at our goal in the second period, and it was on the power play for the Winnipeg Jets. And again, watch number 7, Tkachuk. He's the big guy right here. Nice pass by Jani, but 7, Tkachuk comes right through, skates right through the crease. Korolev just stands there, picks up the garbage, and sweeps home the second goal on the power play, and that was a big one in this game. And now we're going to look at probably one of the best saves you're going to see all season long. Habibulin just robs Joe Sakic right here. Sakic seems to punch home. Habibulin comes back to make the save and keep that shutout, as he was spectacular in the second period. And tonight's second period stats are brought to you by Chevrolet. Value you can always depend on. Genuine Chevrolet. And again, the key is Habibulin. He has been spectacular for Winnipeg tonight. The Avalanche have had some good chances. Winnipeg has played a strong physical game, but Habibulin has been a big key.
So the Jets get a goal in each of the first 2 periods. They're desperate, and they lead the Avalanche 2-0 after 2.
With a newly enhanced Vortec 4300 V6 engine and available push-button 4-wheel drive, the GMC Jimmy can handle virtually anything you might encounter on the road. But you may appreciate Jimmy even more for its ability to get you out of your own driveway. The snow is coming. Get prepared at your Colorado GMC truck dealer.
Super Kmart Center's got a lot of food that's so
Denver boy has an idea to aid Oklahoma City, and Colorado rallies behind him. The sale of Winter Park is averted, and $2 million a year goes to Denver's parks. A Rocky takes one downtown, and the whole state cheers. As Coloradans, we are all connected, which is why the Denver Post will keep delivering to all the Rocky Mountain region. And we're the only paper that can say that. The Denver Post. We stand for Colorado. Buy 6 months, get 6 months free. Call 832-3232 for guaranteed 6 a.m. delivery.
It's tough being a fan when your team isn't the home team, especially when I try to find coverage of my favorite team in the local paper. I'm lucky if I can find last week's score. But if you're like me, you'll be happy to know there's one publication that'll make you feel right at home. The Sporting News. You'll love the Sporting News, no matter what team you love, even if it is the home team.
Call this number now and get 4 issues of the Sporting News free. You'll get opinions and analysis, team-by-team reports, and coverage of all the college conferences, plus baseball, basketball, and hockey all year long. Call now and you'll get 4 free issues of the Sporting News. If you like them, you'll get 24 more issues at this great TV price. If not, just mark the bill, cancel, and owe nothing. The 4 issues are yours to keep.
So call now for the Sporting News, the publication that treats every team like the home team.
Call now and you'll get 4 great issues of the Sporting News free.
Call 1-800-253-8665. Colorado Avalanche Hockey is brought to you by your local Ford dealer, who says go Avalanche and invites you to think Ford first. Wendy's, the best hamburgers in the business. Your Front Range Subaru halfback dealer. The Discover Card. It pays to discover the card that pays you back. And by Grease Monkey, the official lube and oil pros of the Colorado Avalanche.
Welcome back with Peter McNabb. I'm John Kelly. Third period just underway. And we get a quick offside. Time now to check our goalie comparison. Brought to you by Grease Monkey.
Stefan Fisset a little bit busier as far as big saves in that second period, but again, Kevin Bulin, 6 in the first, 6 in the second, 12 so far in tonight's game, as he has been absolutely magnificent for Winnipeg tonight.
The Jets this year, when leading after 2, 21-4-3. The Avalanche are 2-11-3 when going to the third, trailing. We'll see if they can get their third win of the year when trying to come from behind. And this is going to be an icing call. Boy, some big games around the NHL tonight. 2 overtime games. Boston coming back, winning in overtime against Hartford, and Washington beating Montreal at the Molson Center in overtime, 1-0.
Washington back-to-back road victories. They were the team out of the mix. Suddenly, they vaulted all the way to 6th, from 9th to 6th with 2 victories. Jersey was 6th when the night started. They're back down to 8th in the playoffs. Tampa Bay sits as that club outside right now, 77 points, 2 back of Jersey.
Just a tremendous race, but especially in the, I guess not really especially, really both conferences have good races. Here's Sackett. Into Lemieux to a bad angle. Can't center it. Newmanen. Now Simon in front of the goal, but Sackett couldn't get turned around. And the Jets work it through center, where it's dumped in by Korolev. Here's Curtis Lecision. This pass picked off by Tkachuk. Right in front. And the shot was tipped away by Sackett. Now Lecision again. Goes up the boards and shoots it high to the Winnipeg line. Now Manson. Up for Drake. Into the zone to Janney. 1:10 gone in the third. Jets up 2-0. Denmark's a good pass to Yell. 2-on-2. Yell goes wide on Newmanen. And taken out by Teppo Newmanen. In comes Denmark and Forsberg. As Mark Crawford has mixed the lines up here in the third period. Forsberg on the board. Drake hammered by Yell. Denmark has it. Trying to center. Tipped by the Jets. Near the line. Kept in. A shot.
Janney comes over for Winnipeg. Oh, he's able to clear it away. Peter Forsberg for the Avalanche. Flips it in front. Wolanin knocks it down. Wolanin fires it, and look out. He nearly had his own man yell right in the head. And it goes to center. Forsberg back into the zone. In front of the goal, knocked out of midair with a high stick by Jeff Finley. And we get a whistle. Well, the Avalanche are back on the road tomorrow night in San Jose. We'll have it for you on UPN 20 starting at 8:30 Mountain Time tomorrow night.
John, you were talking about the races in the East and the West. The big difference in the East is the fact there's still a race for number 1 overall in the East. Right now, Pittsburgh 92, Rangers 90, Philadelphia 89. Where in the West, Detroit has just been clearly the best team in hockey. They win again tonight. They've now got 119 points. But I think almost more importantly, 57 wins. Number 60 is the all-time record in the history of the league. They only have to go 4-4 in the last 8 games to break that mark.
Well, I would have to say it's all but a given they're going to break that mark. If they don't go 6-2, it'll be a major upset the way they're playing.
If they struggle to 5-3, they're going to be in the first.
Yeah, big slump, right? 2.5 minutes gone here in the third period. The Jets lead it 2-0. Kucherov leads his club to center. Over for Scott Young. Now carried in by Kamensky. This line featuring Young, Ricci, and Kamensky. So Mark Crawford has mixed every line up.
We're obviously not happy with the production of his team in tonight's game. And also maybe it's a situation where he has a little bit of leniency to make these kind of changes because of the fact that, you know, he wants to see different combinations. Should a player go down with an injury? Should Forsberg miss? Who can play well together basically in a pinch when they're an injured player?
Early here in the third period, Winnipeg with a 2-0 lead. Tverdovsky will dump it in. Passe up the wing. Simon can't knock it down. Now hammered back in by Shane Doan. Decision off the boards for Lemieux. Up the middle to Simon. Great drop pass to Sackett. Right in a shot. He scores! Unbelievable goal by Sackett.
But you know what? There's a play made by Simon right here where you got to have such great hands, because this original pass, I'm sure, by Lemieux, I'm never sure, man. This pass was to Sack at the far side, but Simon was able to pick it up perfectly. And just, we talked about it was going to take a great shot. Who besides Joe Sakic could make this kind of shot at players, in the top 3 or 4 in the league? He just froze the goalie for a second and unleashes a rocket.
His 46th of the year from Simon and Lemieux at 3:02, and suddenly the Avalanche have some hope. It's now 2-1. What a big goal there. Corner left dumps it in. Sackett now with 4 goals in his last 6 games, and now 2 shy of a career high. Here come the Avs again. Lemieux ahead to Simon. Sackett got it bounced over his stick, and the Jets shoot it right back in. So the line juggling by Mark Crawford pays off. And Sakic has scored to make it 2-1. Here's Sakic now in on the near side for Lemieux. He's slowed up by Manson. Simon right in front. Adam put back on the line for Wolanin. And in behind the play we have Simon involved with a Jets player, and I think it's going to be Simon. An elbowing minor after Sakic scored a brilliant goal that cut the Jets' lead in half.
A change over the world. Because now the airline that unites 5 continents is owned by the people who built it. Come see the difference employee ownership makes as we take it to the far reaches of the world. The employee owners of United. We don't just work here. Come fly our friendly skies.
Weeknights on the Discovery Channel. Huge and frozen. So cold as it gets. 5 nights all week. How do you feel about ice? Maybe a little snow. Every weeknight all week. What's to do? What's to see? Up close and real cold. Amazing and raw. Bundle up. Survival in the big freeze on Wild Discovery. Every weeknight, always at 9 Mountain, 8 Pacific, only on the Discovery Channel. Explore your world.
The Jets are up 2-1, 16-12 left in the second, or the third period rather. There's the elbow by Simon. Winnipeg is 1 of 3 in the power play, leading 2-1. Norm McIver into Janney, in front. They score! Tipped in at the edge of the goal crease, I think by Kachuk. Hold on here. And they're going to look upstairs.
The referee immediately looked out at the referee, probably the linesman, and called them in. He could not see for sure whether it had been kicked in, pushed in with a hand. He felt something was wrong. Watch on the left side of your screen. To say immediately pointed. Now watch what happened to the puck. Well, he's going to say that the right hand of Drake pushed the puck into the net.
In addition, he was in the goal crease.
Yeah.
And this is going to be reviewed. Again, you cannot direct the puck in with any part of your body. Although Kachuk seemed to shoot the puck, and whether Drake touched it going by, I'm not sure.
Well, yeah, I think it hit it off Drake, but did he do it on purpose? Now watch number 11. You see Drake get knocked down right here. Down he goes. Now he's pushed by the fave right there. Now watch the puck. It seemed to come off his right arm.
Now they're taking it back. You know, I thought the puck clearly was shot by Kachuk, and I don't think Drake knew it hit him in the arm. I think that's a bad call.
Yeah, I think Drake was down. He was facing the other way, and the puck pushed into the net.
And the other thing, he was clearly pushed into the goal crease.
Right, he was pushed in by Lefebvre. He was knocked down by Lefebvre, pushed in, he had his back turned when the puck went in off his arm.
Well, it's clearly subjective, obviously, but I think the Jets got robbed of a goal.
They got a break right there. There's no question that you you could see that Drake, and it certainly appeared that Drake didn't know where he was as far as on the ice with the puck right by his arm.
Well, it's a big break for the Avalanche. They still trail 2-1. Colorado's goal again, Sackett from Simon and Lemieux at 3:02. 1:40 left in the power play. And the Jets have scored 1 power play goal on only 2 shots. Here comes Newman in out of his own end. McIver will dump it in. The save up high on the glass, knocked down by Janney, who gets it again. Craig Janney for the Jets, and a penalty call against Winnipeg. Drake knocked Adam Foote down.
Well, I'll tell you, the referee gave Drake some real leniency right there. Maybe realizing what a tough call it was. Not so much on the cross-checking your foot in front of net, but Drake was really giving it to the referee. Watch in front of the net. Drake right there knocks down Foote. Here it comes right here, boom. Down goes Foote. The referee is off to the right of the picture, had a perfect view of it. But watch the reaction of Drake.
Well, he did it twice, Peter.
Right.
And the referee let it go the first time and had to call it.
But here's look at Drake. Again.
What's he saying, Peter?
He's saying, when the game's over, a couple beers, no problem, I'm buying.
I don't think so.
I'm pretty sure, you know.
Cross-checking the call at 4:34. There goes the Jets power
power play. And in 1:10, when Simon returns, the Avalanche will get a man advantage. 2-1, the Jets lead it. Scott Young in the near corner. Ian Ricci try to get it free. Young does. Skates away from Kachuk. Backhander. Tipped on goal. Still loose in front. Finally broken up and back come the Jets. 3-on-2. Newman in down the far wing. Left it for Janney. Janney drop pass for Tverdovsky. Tries a shot. Right on and a save by Fassay. And here come the Avalanche. That's offside. A pass from inside the Avalanche zone to the other side of center. That's a two-line offside pass.
Ricci just on the other side. Stephane Fassay. Again, sharp in net. He knows his club is facing a red-hot goaltender in Javi Bulin. Johnny talked about him being sharp. He saw how quickly he got up, how easily he seemed to be following the puck.
14:44 to go in the third. The Jets with a 2-1 lead. Sackett's goal early in the third has given the Avalanche some life. And in 30 seconds, a power play for Colorado. Meanwhile, Lemieux to a bad angle. Slap shot! And Javi Bulin made the save, tipped by Forsberg, but now brought to center by Korolev. Igor Korolev. In deep, trying to center it. Does, but Forsberg came over and made a nice play. Used the body and tipped it away. Here's Gutierrez. In deep for the Avalanche. Up for Forsberg. And now Simon is back out there for the Avalanche in a power play. They're 0 for 3 tonight. Forsberg centers it. In comes Gutierrez, but the Jets tip it away. And now it's controlled with 30 seconds left in the power play by Sackett. Poked down the ice by King. Here's Sackett again. He's on the move. 3-on-3 on the power play. Into Keane, back to Sackett. He shoots it behind the goal now. Forsberg is there. Pass into the slot. Sackett. Oh, what a save there by Javi Bulin. It nearly got by him, but he made the glove save.
Well, they asked me a question about what was it like to play in the 60s and 70s. One thing they didn't have, goaltenders gloves this size. Look at the catching glove of Javi Bulin. Looks like a peach barrel. The puck dropped in behind Javi Bulin. He didn't exactly know where it was. The whistle was blowing right there. Defenseman trying to tuck it in under the goaltender. But you're never sure. When I come to practice in the morning, I'm standing behind the shooters. And Joe Sackett, if you look at the glove right there, they are just gigantic now. But when you watch Sackett shoot, you sort of try and guess where he's going to go. When he really bears down, you don't know if he's going high, low, left, or right.
Now 10 seconds left in the power play. Back on the line will land. The drive! And Javi Bulin made the save. Forsberg into the corner. Out high to will land it again. Drake is back on, so the Jets have killed it off. They knock it out of midair with a high stick. And we get a stoppage in play. So Winnipeg has killed it off, and they're back at full strength.
Greg Willano with the A on for tonight's game. He started this rotation with the Avalanche defenseman as far as defensemen sitting out a game. He started the first one in Vancouver, and just every game since then, the 4 games in the road trip, and then tonight, with Ozelinch missing tonight's game, they've just gone with different defensemen. So all 7 of the defensemen get a lot of ice time before we start the playoffs.
By the way, Yui Krupp has begun physical work in practice, not just skating drills, and they're going to look at how he develops for the next week. So he is getting closer and closer to returning. It's still not a guarantee. If he comes back, then that really muddles the picture.
Well, it muddles the picture, but it also, it's what a nice muddle to have.
Nice muddle.
Because, if there was one thing that people said maybe the Avalanche were looking for at trade deadline, that was a big, experienced defenseman. Well, you don't come much bigger than Yui Krupp. 6'6", 240 pounds, and he's had a lot of experience in the league. And
But again, you know, it's an awful lot to ask your body, and they're going to be very, very careful with Drew.
Although Bob Bassett, who played last year with Quebec and hurt his knee early this season with Dallas, he's returned for the Stars.
And he'd be a big, you know, he would have been a big plus for Dallas if they had been a little farther, a little closer to the playoff this year. They're playing a tougher competitor than Bassett.
13:09 to go in the third. The Jets up 2-1. Here's Forsberg on the face-off against Mike Stapleton. It's Forsberg, Deadmarsh, and Yale up front for the Avalanche. Forsberg kept it in. Shot, tipped on goal. Yale with the rebound. Back to Lefebvre, and it bounced over his stick. And the Avs have to regroup at center. Fired back in by Lecision. McIver, he was hammered by Yale. The Avalanche have been more aggressive in the offensive zone in this period. Forsberg had a stick held, was pulled down, and the Jeff Manson now to center ice. 12:35 to go, third period. Jets up by 1. Decision on for Deadmarsh. Sakic beats a man. A shot and a save by Avi Bullock. Now Simon in the corner. For Sakic, Kachuk came over, now Janney for Winnipeg. Carried out by Finley. He'll fire it in. Avalanche right back to center. Kucherov down the near wing. Looks to make a play. Rink wide, Lemieux. The shot on goal! And Javi Bullen made the save again. He has been outstanding. And the Jets clinging to a 1-goal lead.
Red Dog. I'm glad to see you, buddy.
Forget it. I ain't bailing you out no more.
But
Step aside, stranger. This don't concern you.
Bold yet uncommonly smooth from Plank Road.
On the information superhighway, you need more than the latest technology. You need a very powerful drive. Chevy Blazer with the Vortec V6. It's nice to know it's there.
Well, this year's Colorado Special Olympics Hall of Fame dinner, Saturday, April 13th, will be an affair to remember. Join the Denver Broncos and Lynn Swan as they honor the athletes of Colorado Special Olympics. For more information, call 592-1361.
Never been to one of the Special Olympics events. They are truly spectacular with the way the kids, you know, work, you know, give so much of themselves to their event.
They are certainly special athletes, dedicated athletes. And you're right, they are certainly an inspiration to a lot of people. Tonight's Avalanche game on Prime Sports, brought to you by Blizzak, the ice tire from Bridgestone.
Did you ever hear Frank Kipper's story about his first experience with the Special Olympics? There was a 60-yard dash they were running, and this one young boy was ahead and was running, and he had this huge smile on his face, and his buddy, a couple lanes over, tripped and fell. The guy stopped, walked over, picked his buddy up, and the two of them proceeded to run down, you know, and finish the race together. I mean, really, that's what it's all about. It was just a magnificent story.
11:45 to go, third period. The Jets with a 2-1 lead. Sakic has the Avalanche goal. 4-11. Jacob scored for Winnipeg. Oh, what a hit by Forsberg on McIver. And it's cleared to center ice. That might be the hit of the night by Forsberg. Here it comes again. Near side for Deadmarsh. Forsberg, another hit in the corner. Yell is there for the Avalanche. He was knocked down, and Newman in now for Winnipeg. Kucherov tipped it and kept it in, and then Forsberg runs another jet. Yell a drive, and that was broken up, and the Jets control it.
Pittsburgh has had 3 big hits on this shift already. Kaminsky, he beats a man on the boards. Now to the corner. Try to center it. Hit the back of the goal. Ricci is after it. Young kept it in. Here's Young working it in deep. Looks to center. Wheels out of the corner. Right on! A save by Javi Bullock. Hook kept it in. His backhander blocked by Shannon. And the Jets to center. Stapleton fires it in. The save kicks it out. And here comes Young back in. 2-on-1. Oh, he tried to center it. But the Jets' Chris King was there to break it up. That kick save by Fassé turned into a 2-on-1 break.
And that was planned by Fassé. He moved that puck out quickly.
Now 10-10 to go, third period. Winnipeg with a 2-1 lead. As Chris King shoots it in the Avalanche again, a big edge in the shots on goal department.
Shot 7-1 in this period.
Simon, great pass to Lemieux. Into the zone to Sackett. Trying to settle the puck, but the bouncing puck popped over his stick, and the Jets Kachuk shoots it in. Now Simon takes out Drake on the far wing. And the Avs break to center again. Lemieux, the drive, and a save again by Javi Bullock. Janney failed to clear it out. Now Manson back of the goal. Held in by Lefebvre. The shot blocking Kachuk. In for Winnipeg. Slap shot. Fassé, good arm save on that one. And Lefebvre grabs the puck. Kachuk is tied up behind the play with Reichel. Play goes on. But no penalties have been called from Roberts. And now we get a whistle. Reichel trying to stir it up. 9:01 left in the third, and the Jets with a 1-goal lead.
Having trouble finding good service? Go to the base. Home base.
Are you ready? Let's go. Get out and play. Give whatever you've got. You like that? Gatorade. Good. Gatorade. You're gonna get thirsty. Life is a sport. Tough day. Drink it up.
Feeling a little chilly? Go to the base, home base, where you can get Owens Corning Miraflex insulation just $12.98 a roll. Go to the base, home base.
Tonight's Avalanche game on Prime Sports is brought to you by the Denver Post, the official newspaper of the hockey fan. Call 832-3232 to subscribe.
And John, just start looking over the scoring sheets from other games around the league. One of those trades that I think is going to be huge when all is said and done. Howard-Chuck. You know, Philadelphia only beat Ottawa, and Ottawa is a club that you should beat if you're absolutely desperate for a victory, which Philadelphia is right now, trying to get first place. But Howard-Chuck, a goal and 2 assists in that game.
And he was traded for Craig McTavish, a very good two-way center iceman, but arguably on the last leg of his career. And a team, St. Louis, that hasn't scored many goals, even with Gretzky.
That's what's been, I guess, surprising. Everyone was waiting for this outburst of just goals from Gretzky and Hull, but they just really haven't clicked as a pair.
8:52 to go. The Jets up 2-1.
Well, the line shifting of Mark Crawford here in this third period has brought about a much more energetic third period by the Avalanche. They've been physical, they've been tough, they've been going at the net since the opening faceoff here in the third.
Ricci on the faceoff. Gets it back to Clem. And his shot tipped high in deep. Ricci tried to center it. Now he does. But the Jets are there to feed it back to the neutral zone. Here's Guterov into Scott Young. Young shoots it right on. And a save by Avi Bullen. And the Jets with Eastwood. Mike Eastwood drops it to McIver. He'll poke it in behind the goal. Where's Clem up to Kamensky now for Ricci. 2-on-2 break. Ricci to Young. Slap shot. Missed the goal. And it's off the boards and back to center. It's been all Avalanche here in the third. They've gotten the only goal by Sakic, but trail by one. Guterov out of his own zone. Chris crosses with Stefan Yell. Now plays it to the far side where Forsberg fights off a check. Forsberg, Deadmarsh, and Yell up front here. Yell back on the line. Guterov, and his shot was tipped to the near corner. Young gave it away to Forsberg. In front, clearance, waits, drops it back, what a shot! Now Guterov gets it, and he stuffs it wide of the goal. And the Jets' Jeff Finley carries it out. He was pulled down, but again, no call. 7:25 to go, third period. Winnipeg up by one. Deadmarsh pokes it in. He was slowed up by Craig Muni. And now Simon with it. Here's Tkachuk in for Winnipeg. But Simon lifted high to center. Lemieux picks it up. Pokes it into Sakic. Now Lemieux gets it again. Right in. Rebound. Simon. Big save. Another shot. Oh, to it by the open goal. What a chance there. And now Lemieux is into it with Tkachuk. And look out here. Well, Tverdovsky is down right in the net. He went in head first to the goalpost. You could almost see this coming. They don't play back-to-back games too often in the NHL like they used to. And bad blood can develop. Tverdovsky, watch Tverdovsky, number 20. Nice play, nice hard work by the Avalanche. And this line, Simon, Sakic, and Lemieux has had some great chances. Watch Tverdovsky come through right here. Boom. And he gets knocked back and bangs the back of his head into the goalpost. That was a legal hit by Simon. He's just playing the man right there. Comes through, knocks down Tverdovsky. Then he bangs his head. Lemieux right there just can't find it. And that's when it all started. It was a free-for-all. They're taking a few extra shots right there. Well, the young man Tverdovsky, good to see him on his feet. He hit his head fairly hard on that goalpost. Get back to the story. If you didn't hear the story about Tverdovsky, we talked about it last game, but he went through just an incredible experience. His mother was actually kidnapped. Now, forcibly taken to a place she didn't want to be, kidnapped in the true definition of the word by a former coach and associates who wanted $200,000 from Tverdovsky. And Tverdovsky, without Anaheim knowing about it, was working with the police trying to get this thing straightened out. The former coach felt that Tverdovsky, who signed a huge contract with the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, owed him some money and should have been giving him some money. But for 11 days, his mother was, being held captive, and finally everything worked out. But during those 11 days, Tverdovsky was traded from Anaheim to Winnipeg. He hadn't told anybody about the situation,
But fortunately, it all worked out, and now Tverdovsky's parents, both his mom and his dad, are living at his home in Anaheim, so it worked out well.
Sunday, the NHL on Fox is back as the Fox Tracks makes its return when Wayne Gretzky and the St. Louis Blues face off against Sergei Fedorov and the Detroit Red Wings. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 Pacific. Check local listings for the game and time in your area on Fox. Back live here at Big Mac in Denver. 6:50 to go. Kachuk got a 4-minute minor for roughing, a double minor. Simon and Lemieux get single minors for roughing, so it all washes out.
The only thing that doesn't wash out is the fact that Kachuk will miss 4 minutes. So he'll only have 2 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the rest of this game, where Lemieux and Simon, who have been two of the better players for the Avalanche, will only sit out the 2 minutes and then the next whistle before they can return.
Meanwhile, Sakic into the zone in front. And the shot by Deadmarsh was tipped high. And the Jets who lead here 2-1. Shoot it down the near boards. Eastwood in front of the goal. Oh, a shot there by Korolev. And good work by Sakic to get back and tip it away. Now to the far side. It's Eastwood back of the goal. Korolev left it there. And Deadmarsh fights off the check. And center Keane can't find it. Now the Jets, Mike Stapleton with it. 6 minutes to go. The teams remain at full strength, and the Jets have a 1-goal lead. Here's Chris King, the Jet captain. His pass blocked. Young on for Kamensky. Winnipeg got back and tipped it away. Now Young again into Kamensky with some speed. To the backhand, and a good play by Finley to knock it off his stick. Here's Kamensky again. Into the corner to Young. Out of the corner now. Wide open. There's Young, a drive. Saved by Javi Bulin. Kucherov gets it. Right in front of the goal. Oh, and a great chance. But Kamensky fanned on it, and the Jets will ice it.
The numbers started to add up as far as shots here in the third period. 11-2 for Mark Crawford's club. And again, they have just been that much more aggressive here in the third period. And Javi Bulin has just, he seems to be down, but he seems to be in control when he goes down. Right there, coming across. That's a tough move for a goaltender. You've got to follow the shooter. You're never quite sure where he's going to unload, and you just have to keep moving and moving, try to cover as much of the net as you can.
Peter, we've seen more bounces in the game tonight than we have in recent Avalanche games. Of course, they haven't played a game here in a while. A lot of basketball games here. Nuggets played last night. But maybe the ice isn't quite as hard as it has been.
Yeah, I think 4 or 5 times I've seen players miss strides, which is always an indication the ice isn't quite the way they like it.
5:11 to go in the third. The Jets up 2-1. Forsberg on a face-off. And he'll take it against Dallas Drake. He got the game's first goal. Korolev scored in the second. Sakic has the Avalanche goal here in the third. And a puck up the wing. Deadmarsh kept it in. Now fired to the slot by Yale, but the Jets intercept. And Dallas Drake will simply shoot it deep into the Avalanche zone. Fassé off the boards to center. And Manson and Yale bump near the Winnipeg bench. 4:47 to go. Winnipeg up 2-1.
Guys are persistent.
Well, they're no match for the world's first sport utility wagon.
Oh, really?
All-wheel drive Subaru Outback's got more headroom than a Cherokee. Ground clearance of an Explorer.
So you say.
Ride smooth as any car.
Got any more of this tidbit?
What, like more stability in a turn than a Chevy Blazer?
Sure, that'll do.
That's my Subaru Outback. World's first sport utility wagon.
You never really know when you'll need cash. That's why you need a Discover card. Use your card to get cash during business hours from financial institutions and select merchant locations, or 24 hours a day from thousands of ATMs. The Discover Card. Because when you need cash, timing is everything. It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back. Use it where you see the Novus sign.
Don't forget, next Wednesday, the Avalanche are back on Prime Sports against Wayne Gretzky and the St. Louis Blues. Tune in at 7:30 Central, 6:30 Mountain Time with Sports Talk, followed a half hour later by the game. That's next Wednesday, the Blues and Avalanche, right here on Prime Sports.
St. Louis suffered a tough blow last night. Shane Corson broke his jaw. It'll be obviously very important to St. Louis how long he'll be out.
Mike Keenan said he could be gone for up to 4 weeks. Blues are the Avalanche. In front of a quick shot by Young. Nearly got by Hobby Bullen. 4.5 minutes to go here. Winnipeg up 2-1. Ricci over for Lecision, and he'll dump it in. Dave Manson controls it. Up the wing to Korolev, who clears it out. Sylvain Lefebvre in his own zone. Now to Young. He'll tip it by Eastwood. Scott Young to the slot. A shot, and Hobby Bullen a big rebound, but it was picked up by Shannon, and he gets it out of trouble. 4 minutes to go. And this will be an icing call against the Jets.
John, it looks like the Jets are going to rely on the play of Hobby Bullen here in this third period, and late in this third period. When they get the puck, they're just poking it out, getting a line change. Remember, they played last night, and they got to be a tired hockey club right now. They flew in from Dallas. You don't get here till late. Remember, the athletes, I'm amazed, haven't felt the altitude as much as I thought they would have at the start of the season. But still, that second game in 2 nights is always tough. I saw the Jets bring an extra bucket of water over. I mean, they're obviously getting dehydrated and tired here late in the third.
3:56 left in regulation time. Winnipeg with a 1-goal lead. Sackett, who has the Avalanche goal on the face-off against Stapleton. He'll try and get it back to Lemieux. And Stapleton won the face-off. Newman in on the far side for Drake, trying to clear it out. Gets it again. Simon knocked it down. Into the corner to Lemieux. Back on the line. Clem a shot. Never got through traffic. And King will lift it high and back down the ice. And then he was hammered by Simon. And icing called again against the Jets.
Well, you got to give King credit in that play. He knew who was coming in behind him, and it was big Chris Simon. And Simon wasn't fooling around. Good hard hit right there. Simon kept the elbows down that time, and but King took it all the way up the ice. He was talking to Simon. They're still talking right now. The only thing I'd ever be saying to Chris Simon is, please don't hit me.
I didn't mean it, sir.
Mr. Simon, sir.
3:31 to go. Again, the Jets are desperate. Coming in with the 8th and final playoff spot, only 2 points ahead of the Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, who are not in action tonight.
And you know they're watching tonight's game, and they're going, no, this is not one of the games we counted on Winnipeg winning.
Well, they haven't won it yet. Still hope for the Avalanche. Sackett gets it back. Lemieux, his shot to the near corner. Adam Foote is in there. Now Stapleton taken down by Lemieux, and he'll get a penalty. And the Jets on this late call. Eastwood shoots it wide. And now Lemieux gets the puck. With 3:11 to go, he's going to go for 2.
And he may get more if Stapleton is cut. But that was a situation where Lemieux wasn't trying for a penalty. He was trying to lift the stick, but he caught the man. Watch right here. Lemieux comes in trying to lift the stick, and boom. Right in the face of Stapleton. And that is a penalty, and that's an ouch.
Well, he is cut. And Lemieux is fortunate
Yeah, he doesn't get more than 2. Well, he does get more than 2. 4 minutes.
And again, the difference between 4 and 5 minutes. If the referee felt he got 5 minutes,
well, they announced 4.
I thought he announced double minor.
Yeah, they did. And Lemieux was still in the box. If he would have gotten a major, he would have been out of the game.
Out of the game. Well, not necessarily. You can get a 5 minute, but not a game misconduct sometimes.
Well, they must have ruled that it wasn't intentional.
Right. He cut him, therefore he gets the 4, but it wasn't a thing where he necessarily really went after the head of Stapleton. Mike Stapleton, his dad, of course, was Pat Stapleton, former outstanding defenseman for Chicago Blackhawks in their glory years.
Whitey.
He was a very good defenseman.
So the Jets are going to have a power play for the rest of regulation, and they lead by 1. And they are 1-4 with the power play tonight. And the Avalanche are offside. Of course, Colorado leads the league with 18 shorthanded goals. And with Forsberg and Sakic out there now, obviously they're thinking shorthanded goal.
Yeah, we saw Willander step up. He created the offside. He would have been backing up probably for a normal penalty kill.
2:55 to go in regulation. Winnipeg on a power play, up by 2-1. And the Jets work it in. Korolev. Hounded by Willander. Plays it behind the goal. Eastwood is there. They try and jam it in, but Fassé will cover up.
Willander had a very physical game tonight. Started off early. He and Eastwood went in the corner. Took a little exception with a hit that Eastwood put on him. Since that time, he's been real tough in front of the Avalanche net.
I wonder if Mark Crawford would even think about pulling the save when you're short-handed.
Oh, absolutely. The last part of it, that it's going to go for the entire rest of the period unless they score a goal or 2, Winnipeg, and that would negate the penalties against Lemieux. But the last minute, you get a face-off down the zone. You're down by a goal, you pretty much have to do it.
The Jets on the power play leading 2-1. McIver fires it in deep. Janney is there now for Dallas Drake. Back for Janney. Out high for Newman. Craig Janney has it again. Back for Newman outside the line. And played in offside. That could have been intentional offside, and the faceoff could have gone back down to the Jets end.
Yeah. But in front of the net, I was watching in front of the net, as Janney had the puck on the far boards. Dallas Drake is the guy that's taking the punishment right in front of Stephane Fassé. That's freeing up Kachuk to sort of move to the outside and be more dangerous with that quick shot of his. But Drake is taking a lot of punishment from the Avalanche defenseman.
2:19 to go in the third. The Jets up 2-1. And Lemieux will have to serve his double minor for the remaining time in regulation. So the Jets on a power play. Sakic wins the faceoff. Now on to Forsberg. He had it stolen from behind by Janney, who gets it ahead to Drake. Now Newman steps up. He'll dump it in. Point back for the Avalanche. Back of the goal to Gusarov. Now to Sakic. Here comes Sakic and Forsberg. 2-on-2. Sakic to Forsberg. He was pulled down and no call. And the fans can't believe it. And the Jets, Dallas Drake with it. 1:40 to go. Winnipeg remain on the power play. Here's LaFave. Off the boards to the Winnipeg line where Manson with it.
And we got Kaminsky out there killing the penalty. Doesn't kill a lot of penalties. You know what the Avalanche are thinking right now. Offense.
1:25 to go in the third period. Winnipeg up by 1. LaFay bumps in the corner with Korolev. Stapleton gets it behind the net. To the far side to Tverdovsky. Into the corner, Korolev centers to Shannon. His shot blocked by Lesusion. And here come the Avalanche. Mike Keane, Passe heads off for the extra man. Kamensky right in front. Oh, tipped by Keane on goal. And Avi Bullen made a huge save there.
Well, Javi Bullen has just the buller, as we call him. Makes a good save right here. Again, he has been so alert and in just the right spot at every time except for the Sakic shot. He did a good job right there. Good deflection. And Javi Bullen took away the entire bottom part of the net.
54.6 seconds to go. Peter, you are dead on. The save is off for the extra man.
Yeah, it was just a situation where you're down by a goal, you want to get the puck going in the direction. That's when Passe put his hand up. He was breaking towards the net. And now, you have your basic 5-on-5 situation. The Avalanche will put, their best offensive guys on the ice.
Technically, the Jets have a power play, but the Avalanche with the goalie pulled are even in manpower.
The only thing that this can't help sometimes, if Winnipeg gets the puck down the ice, you can ice it. They can't blow the whistle, and so you can hustle down and sort of forecheck and get the puck down very, very quickly.
Here we go. Jets up by 1. They win the faceoff. Newman is taken out by Forsberg. Here's Kamensky. In front of the goal. Kicked by Gusarov. And the Jets intercepting Tkachuk to center. The net is empty. Here's Tkachuk. The shot. And it hit a skate and bounced to the corner. Sakic is back. Now picked up by Forsberg. 35 seconds to go. Peter Forsberg. He's killed the Jets this year with 8 points. He'll dump it in. Javi Bullen tipped it to his own man. Finley, who nearly knocked it back toward the goal. Out of the corner. Sakic in deep for Forsberg. Backhand pass in front. And the Jets break up. And here's an open net for Dallas Drake. And he'll hit the goal post. He missed a wide open goal. Now they score. And the Jets sew it up as Tkachuk scores to make it 3-1.
Well, I think Drake, who was looking to make a pass over to Tkachuk, because Tkachuk is going for the 50-goal season, but he wasn't quite sure. And then, sure enough, he pulled it wide. And there, Janney right there makes a nice little play. Tkachuk will pick up his 5th goal in the last 2 nights. His 3rd point of the evening for Keith Tkachuk, as he comes up with a couple of gigantic efforts in those 2 games on the road for Winnipeg.
His 48th of the year from Janney, and that makes it 3-1. Drake also gets an assist, and they'll drop the puck, and that's going to do it. So the Winnipeg Jets win a huge one behind the tremendous goaltending from Nikolai Javi Bullen. He stops 33 of 34.
That puts them 4 points ahead of Anaheim. They have 8 games remaining, Anaheim 9.
And our 4th player of the game, Javi Bullen, the star tonight.
Yeah, Javi Bullen. He made those key saves. You just have to think back to the save he made against Joey Sakic. I mean, he was just on his game tonight.
So the Winnipeg Jets and their coach Terry Simpson get a huge playoff boost. A surprising 3-1 victory here in Denver. Their first win this year against the Avalanche.
From electronic ticketing to the new 777, United's employee owners have made lots of improvements. Now we're even giving airplane coffee a good name. Starbucks, on board United worldwide. Come fly our friendly skies.
Avalanche fans, Milk on Ice has never been cooler. Check this out. Milk and Prime Sports are teaming up to send you and 10 of your friends to a fully catered VIP box at McNichols Sports Arena when the Avalanche host their first ever home playoff game. To enter, send in a postcard with your name, address, and phone number to Milk on Ice, P.O. Box 505, East Lake, Colorado, 80614-0505. Brought to you by Milk and Prime Sports. Milk on Ice has never been cooler.
If you're a single woman on a budget, buying a car can be a real challenge. But there's one dealership that makes it easier.
Dealing Deck, Skyline, Mitsubishi, Volkswagen, Suzuki. 3 different makes, 1 location. That means Suzuki Swift's from $79.88, Volkswagen Jetta's only $219 a month with nothing down, or Mitsubishi Eclipse just $12,988. Plus friendly sales staff, super service, easy financing, and great Deal and Doug deals.
Whether you're a couple, a single woman like me, or a man with a family, the sky's the limit at Deal and Doug, Skyline, Mitsubishi, Volkswagen, Suzuki.
Dare to compare famous Marvelous Middle sleep sets with all the rest. The middle isn't all that's marvelous about the Restonic mattress. For a limited time only, you can save on any size and firmness on all Restonic sleep sets. Dare to compare Restonic comfort, support, durability, selection, and warranty. Restonic has a non-prorated warranty. Most others don't. Come in now while the selection is best. Savings like this won't last long.
Dare to compare at Cindelier Home Furnishings, 515 Kaufman in Longmont.
Our final score tonight, the Winnipeg Jets win a huge one, 3-1 over the Colorado Avalanche. And welcome back with Peter McNabb. I'm John Kelly. You got to give the Jets credit. They played a smart game, good hockey game for the goaltender Javi Bullen. And I don't say they deserved to win because the Avalanche had a lot of chances, but it certainly was a big win for them.
Yeah, they came out and played a very smart road game. They played last night, so they knew they were going to be tired. They tried to slow the pace down over the course of the first couple of periods. You need good goaltending in a situation like that. They certainly got that from Javi Bullen. They needed their big guys to come with a big game. Janney had a couple of assists. Kachuk had a goal and 2 assists. So they got what they needed, and they played it as tough as they could for as long as they could, and then they relied on Javi Bullen.
Yeah, I thought the Avalanche played a very strong third period, got the 1 goal from Sakic, but couldn't get any more.
Well, that was after Mark Crawford decided to, change the lines up a little bit, mix things up, get the team going a little bit. And the one line was Simon, Sakic, and Lemieux got the 1 goal, but they looked very good. But just everybody looked a little more energized for the third period.
So the Jets win it, 3-1 our final. And tonight's hit of the game is brought to you by Conoco.
And this was the hit, middle of the third period. Peter Forsberg, again, who you just can't forget what a physical player he is. Takes McIver into the corner, causes the turnover, and that's our Conoco hit of the game.
Again, our final score, the Jets win it 3-1. Let's go downstairs to our host tonight, Tom Green, who has a special guest.
Thanks a lot, John. I'm down here with Dallas Drake. Dallas in Dallas last night, a couple goals tonight in Denver. You got the first goal of the game. Seemed to set the tempo for your team offensively. You were playing so sound defensively. Getting that 1 goal really allowed you guys some room.
Well, I think so. I think the key to our game last night, too, was we got a quick start. And same thing tonight. The puck took a funny bounce for me out over the defenseman's stick, and I was in the right spot at the right time, and I just flipped it over the goaltender there.
That's not a play? You don't call for the tricky bounce feed to me?
I wish I could say I didn't call for plays like that, but unfortunately I can't.
You had another goal, looked like for a while there. You seemed rather unhappy as that one was disallowed.
I don't know what I was thinking there. I just rolled on my stick a little bit and I missed the net, so really no excuse for that, but we got a goal at the end anyways.
The empty netter there, the situation it looked like. But I was talking about the 1 goal that was referee Lance Roberts took away from you guys. Tell me about that play, what you saw.
I got knocked down in front of the net, so I can't really tell what happened. He said it went off a skate or was kicked in. If it was kicked in by me, I don't know how I would have kicked it in, because if you see it went off their guy's stick, you can obviously see it there, not by anybody's skate.
Now I want to ask you about the empty net. You cruised down, and you looked like you had one on your stick. You were going to ring it up, another 2-goal night. What happened?
Like I said, the puck just rolled up my stick a little bit, and I shot it wide, unfortunately. But those are the breaks sometimes, and as long as we win, that's what counts.
More importantly, this team, you go into Dallas last night, you really play well, you come away with a big win, you pick up 2 tough points tonight coming into Denver and beating the team that's won the Pacific Division.
Yeah, they're an excellent hockey team, and we knew if we were going to win tonight, we had to play great defense, and we did that. Nikolai Habibulin made some unbelievable saves, especially that 1 glove save off Sakic that kept us in the lead. So it was a key game for us, and in order for us to make the playoffs, we have to keep winning games like these.
2 big points for the Winnipeg Jets. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Dallas Drake, our guest. We'll be right back with the post-game show from Big Mac after this on Prime Sports.
the Memorial Cup got underway today.
Colorado Avalanche on Prime Sports has been brought to you by...
He comes right